Hot sauce. It's a small batch, handmade hot sauce made especially for you. You can find it at www.trygreatwhite.com. It's also sponsored by South Florida Allied Health, located in Boca Raton, Florida, specializing in men's health, women's health, medical weight loss, IV therapy infusion, testosterone therapy, and hormone replacement therapy. Florida residents only.
Well, here we are, episode 96. Climbing that ladder to 100 episodes. Well, in this episode, we're going to continue our conversation on the unbelievable musical year of 1979. Just loaded, jam-packed with great stuff. And joining me again this week, continuing their residency, Mark Smith and Luke Calicchio of the Relish Podcast. We still got a whole half a year to go. So sit back, relax, enjoy 1979. I know I enjoyed it, from what I can remember.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
The KOFB studio presents Milk Crates and Turntables, a music discussion podcast hosted by Scott McLean. Now, let's talk music. Enjoy the show.
Thank you, Amanda, for that wonderful introduction, as usual. Welcome to the podcast. You know the name, so I'm not going to say it. We're streaming live right now over Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, DLive, blah, 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 blah. If you want to listen or watch us every live, we're on every Wednesday night at 7:45, there and thereabouts. You can hit us up on the YouTube channel, Milk Crates and Turntables. Said it's live there. Well, you can find me on Facebook and friend me. I friend everybody. I don't care. I think I friended about, 3 Chinese spies and a couple of Russian agents. I don't know. To get all my information. They're not going to get anything from me. But that's life today, right? That's life today. But you know who isn't a Chinese spy? Mark Smith from the Relish Podcast.
Hi.
No, yeah. You know who's not a Russian agent? Luke Calicchio from the Relish Podcast. So,
how you doing, Scott?
Oh.
You're not, right?
No.
Would you tell me if you were?
Yes, comrade, I would.
Oh, good.
Yes.
I don't want any surprises on this podcast. I don't want any.
Mark, we shouldn't say too much. There is a weed in the garden, if you know what I mean.
That's right.
There's a fly on the wall, say.
Was that you? Is that you guys that had the fucking drone over my house today?
You know.
What?
As Eldra has said,
Do you know who
pumpkin.
You know who the spy is? Perry Dedovich.
The bot. He's a bot.
He's the Manchurian restaurant.
He's an AI.
Candidate.
He's an AI. He's not a bot anymore. He's an AI. I swear. Perry Dedovich is an AI.
Elevated.
Yes.
He's like Ultron.
Yeah. He popped up last week, comments, and then he leaves.
He leaves, yeah.
He does the hit and run. Mark Flynn. Everybody say hello to Mark Flynn, my
Mark. Hey,
brother.
Mark. Mark's a good name.
Jeez. Is it? But is it?
A hell of a lot of us in the world.
Is it really? You know, I do that to people. Like when, say, you get your order messed up at the fast food place, and they say, "Oh, I'm sorry. I do the Larry David. It's a great." You look at me and say, "Are you really?"
No, you're not.
I do that. They go. I say, "Are you really?"
Oh man.
No, I'm sorry. Really? I don't know.
They don't know how to take it.
No, they don't. They're like, huh?
Hey, when I worked in a
Is this
laundromat,
the
someone did that to me, and I said to them, "You know what? No, I'm not sorry."
That's all I want to know. And that's how I would
laughed, and they
reply.
laughed. Yeah.
That's all I want to know. You're really
Really
sorry.
sorry.
Do you really care about my cheeseburger? Really?
But when your name's Mark, you get into someone else's food all the time. So
Here we go.
It's a sad situation.
It's hungry always seems to be the final.
I mean, you don't know my name, but well, we won't go there tonight.
Why don't we talk it over tonight?
Here we go. You guys are rolling. Good. Let's jump into it then. Let's jump into it. So,
You don't know me.
oh no, Michael McDonald, please.
I
All right,
vow. I vow not.
Lou,
to
just do it
any-
once. Just get it out of your system.
I need like an input. I need some kind of like a prompt.
He needs to be inspired. Lou needs to be inspired to do his Michael McDonald.
It's true.
All right, it might
I'm not
pop
some
up.
performing flea in your flea circus, Mr. McLean.
Ding, ding, ding,
This is the Ed Sullivan show. I'm just this little bug.
I'm not a flea
I'm
in your
Topo
flea
Gigio.
circus. I'm going to steal that one. I love that
Oh,
one.
please,
Unless
please.
I'm not a
Honor.
flea in your little flea circus. All right, this is a good start. This is a good start. All right, Dave Phillips, King of the 45s, just came into the live stream. What's up, buddy? There you go. All right, so last week we left off with The Knack in My Sharona was #1 in the Billboard charts in August. So now we're moving into September through December. So September 1st, 1979, a little band from Australia. This is a tiny little band from Australia. Performed their first public performance at Ocean View Hotel in Umina, New South Wales. It's a band, it's 4 letters, INXS. What? Who? You ever hear of them? You ever hear of that band?
A while ago.
INXS, is that how it's pronounced? Yeah.
INXS.
Yeah, just a little band from Australia. Would you say they're the biggest band out of Australia?
AC/DC.
AC/DC.
AC/DC? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I kind of thought so.
In that
But
80 period, though, that
yeah, you know what?
Maybe
Okay,
they're-
so let's just say around 79, the 80s. Let's say in the 80s, right? Who was bigger, AC/DC or INXS? Now, some people might say, oh, that's a stupid question, but think about it. INXS,
yeah.
well, you know what?
They had a lot of singles. AC/DC, how many singles did they have throughout the 80s that were like, You Shook Me,
Yeah.
and the other one, and the other ones, but,
Hell's Bells.
Hell's Bells. But was
Yeah.
that as big a hit as say the one thing or
No, you know what? You have a
or-
good point, Lou. After Back in Black,
What
they
You
were
Need?
still huge, but INXS had the bigger singles.
I think they had
Definitely in
a
the 80s,
slew of
yeah.
singles.
Yeah.
You know what's cool about INXS? Amongst
What's
other
that?
things, they have 3 brothers in the band.
Yeah, the Ferris brothers.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep. The Ferris
And,
brothers.
and my favorite name in rock and roll, Gary Beers.
Gary Beers, that's right. Yep.
First and middle name. Or is that
So-
his first name, Gary?
Let's see. So INXS, their discography, the debut album, 1980, INXS. In 81, Underneath the Colors. In 82, Shabu Shaba. That had the one thing on it, right?
Yeah.
The Swing. And then it really started kind of, the Swing had on it Original Sin, I Send a Message, Burn for You. So that was kind of like their launch. And then you get into Listen Like Thieves in
Yeah.
85. That was a pretty big album for them.
Yeah.
And Kick in 87 was a monster.
That was the one. Need You Tonight? Is that
Everything.
That one?
I mean,
Yeah,
everything
right.
is on there.
What was that ballad off the album? I really liked it.
Never Tear Us Apart.
Never Tear Us
Great
Apart.
song. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. With a
Um,
nice, great greasy saxophone solo on that.
Yeah. The saxophone that I could have owned if I bought it off that guy in Boston
right.
that had
That's
stole.
right.
Well, that was a new one because evidently the stolen one was floating around Boston somewhere.
Wow.
The hits off that were Need You Tonight, Devil Inside, New Sensation, Never Tear Us Apart, Mystify. I mean, so, you know,
There's
you could
5
probably
singles?
say those were the singles that came off of it. Yeah.
Was that 5 of them?
Let me see. Yeah, 5.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it is for one album. But the track listing is Guns in the Sky, great album. New Sensation, Devil Inside, Need You Tonight. The Loved One, Wildlife, Never Tears Apart, Mystify, Kick, Calling All Nations, Tiny Daggers. It was one of those, the whole album was good.
Yeah.
And the reason I liked it was this was the dawn of CDs, so it was one of the first CDs I bought.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Do we know who produced that?
Who?
I don't know. I was
let's see. I'll tell you right now.
I think it's a Biggie, Chris Thomas or Roy Thomas Baker, maybe? No.
Chris Lord Alge.
Kick. Recorded 86, 87, studio length. Producer was Chris Thomas.
Chris Thomas. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got it.
Chris
You
Thomas.
did?
I did.
Yeah. Fucking Lou.
Thank you.
Lou's got the applause and the wine tap. Okay, we're only 10 minutes in and Lou's fucking killed it already.
I got a lot of sleep last night.
Good. Not
I
like
didn't.
last week.
I didn't.
Full of beans. No, I was tired I was tired as shit
That
last
was a
night.
3-hour marathon.
Yeah, I have to be in bed by 11 o'clock tonight.
We'll get you there, buddy. We'll get you there.
No, I'm here for the duration, man.
Well, the second half shouldn't be as long as the first half was. September 2nd, 1979, U2 enters the studio for the first time to record a locally released single. Right? Their first release was U2-3. It was 3 songs, of course. Right? And then they went on to record Boy, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
Do you have a particular, just throw Joshua Tree out, right? Because that's the monster, right? That's their monster. That was a catastrophic launch.
Yeah.
That fucking album. What would you, how do you rate their albums, or what's your favorite album out of the, if you have one? If you
I
have
had 3
one.
albums of those. I had War, Unforgettable Fire, and the Joshua Tree. So I would say Unforgettable Fire of the 3 is my favorite.
Great album.
Yeah.
Mark, Unforgettable Fire?
It's a toss-up for me between Unforgettable Fire, because I got into them with War, but we saw them at Radio City warming up for their tour for Unforgettable Fire. So it's either that or Achtung Baby, because after Joshua Tree, it's like, what are they going to do? And then they come out with I think it's a better album.
Changed up everything.
But
I'm not like those albums better, but I just heard songs on the radio from them. But like I had the 3, but so who knows? Any one of those other albums I might like better, because I like their newer singles, or the latter day singles.
Yeah, I think their last 2 good albums was How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb and Anything You Could Bring With You. Both of those albums back to back were great albums.
Stuck in a Moment that you can't get out of his songs. Yeah.
Did you ever listen to Boy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Cat Dubois.
Yes.
Right? There's a video of it's in Chicago. It's from a concert in Chicago.
I got that DVD.
Great version. Where he takes the kid out of the crowd, a little kid.
Yeah.
Just a great version of that song. Great version. The unfortunate thing about U2 is when you saw them in concert, they never really did B-sides. They always stuck to the plan, right? Because different bands, I was just reading an article today on Morrissey's, he did a residency, I believe, last summer in Vegas. And the critic was like, he's a funny concert to see. And I witnessed this the first time I saw him in Miami. People go to see the Smiths songs, and he plays a lot of his obscure stuff. Like, he likes to play everything he's ever recorded, right? So he doesn't leave stuff on the table, right? And it varies from show to show. But they said, do you do the show for the purists who like the B-side stuff or like the other songs on the albums and not so much the hits? Or do you give a bunch of people what they want and play just the hits, right? So it's kind of a tough one. Like, if you're a Morrissey fan, then you'll get it. If you go to see Morrissey to hear the Smiths, you might get 3 songs. I've seen them a few times, and I've tallied up a nice collection of Smith songs. But U2.
So maybe like the artists do that because they don't want to ever get tired of playing for people. So if you did that same thing, if they don't keep themselves interested, it's not going to, if they're true to what they do, it's not going to translate, just trotting out the same set or the same repertoire.
Well, U2, if you saw them in San Francisco, you're going to see the same content in Boston. Like they were very choreographed.
They just changed by tour.
Right.
And they pull certain old songs out every tour.
Right. And there's so many cues. There's so many things. The what do you call it? The bits and pieces, all the nuts and bolts of the moving parts of a show.
Yeah.
So I guess it has to be that scripted at that point for the most part.
Well, you get these bands like Pearl Jam that decide literally like 45 minutes before the show starts, let's put a set list together.
Mm-hmm.
And they can do that, right?
Yeah.
I think U2's and Pearl Jam's the most stripped down show. U2 is it's like an event.
Yeah,
it really is like an
one
event.
thing those two bands have in common is they have an incredible catalog of B-sides, and it's a shame that U2 don't pull more of them out, because B-sides, they're bands that make, like U2 especially, their B-sides are really good.
Well, when I saw them in Philadelphia some years back, probably around, I don't know, late 2000s, before 2010, I believe. That was the first time I'd ever seen them they did a handful of B-sides, and they kind of changed it up. I was like, wow. And that was actually probably the best show I've ever seen them do, other than, when I jumped up on stage and had Bono on my shoulders.
Really?
I did.
How'd you do that?
Oh, you never heard that story?
No. Oh.
Let's see the pictures.
Been hiding that one.
That is the thing, right? There's always been a search for a picture, but back then it was the war tour, right? There was no cell phones. But if you go to what is it called? Setlists.com, and you find that concert in Boston, it will say Encore, I Will Follow. Bono gets on fans' shoulders.
That was you.
That was the war tour?
Yeah.
So was it 82?
Yeah, it was 82, 83, 83. Okay. Yeah, it was like 83. They had the album just went like platinum that day. So they were in an extra kind of, back then I think gold was a big deal. Maybe it went gold. I don't know. But yeah, it was a big deal for them. So they had a little extra oomph in their step during the show. And I joined in. But anyways.
Nice.
That's very cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I jumped up on stage during the encore. I just wanted to shake his hand. That's it. And
couldn't do
I'm
that.
on one knee, and I just have my hand. He comes around, taps me on the head, pick him up.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, and then I turn around, and it's like, what the fuck?
That's trust.
Pretty good.
You've had Bono's crotch on your neck,
right on the back of my head. Bono's nuts are on the back of my head. Right? Who can say that?
A lot
Get a bag of Bono nuts.
Strong enough, I know though.
I'll take that. I will take Bono's nuts on the back of my head. I don't care.
Nuts.
That's a soundbite. That's a soundbite.
Really? That's a quote. That's a quote for the show.
Oh, anyways, okay, let's move on.
Hey, let me ask you something. Yeah. Now, did they treat Boston like that? Must be. Is it a special city to them because of the large Irish population?
Yeah. They treat Boston with its own. They actually, I think they didn't they record they played on St. Patrick's Day.
Well, they did. There's a DVD that they filmed in Boston.
In Boston, yeah.
It was the Elevate tour.
Yeah.
Elevate tour, and I just remember they open up with
Elevation.
Elevate. And it was Boston. Once they go into it, the whole crowd's jumping up and down. All you see is beer flying up.
Yeah,
it's an incredible. The amount of energy in that show is just incredible.
I saw them kick that tour off in Fort Lauderdale, and they had a heart-shaped stage, like a ramp, right?
Yeah.
And Bono, he came. So as you're looking at the stage, he comes down the right side, and he gets to the point, and he starts walking backwards while he's singing, and it might have even been that song, Elevation, because they start the tour off, and everyone's going, and all of a sudden he disappears. He fell into the crowd. Because he missed a step, purpose? Like he wasn't paying attention, and all of a sudden he just fell, like he disappeared, and you just see people push him back up, and it wasn't planned. Because Bono is not a guy like it's going to stage dive backwards You know?
Not at this point.
No. But when they hit that elevation and everyone just starts jumping, yeah,
Oh my
it's
God,
crazy.
that's great. Yeah.
Great song. Let's see. September 13th, 1979, Abba begins the Abba, the tour in Edmonton, Alberta, leading off the month of dates in North America. Abba, are they in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Not sure, but I think they should be.
Right?
I think they are.
I'm not sure, but if they're not, they should be.
Yes, especially with that musical.
So I watched, I know the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is always a sticking point with me, but, and this is not only the Pet Shop Boys, but now I'm picking up the mantle for this person. So the other night, my wife and I got her to watch the documentary, The Wrecking Crew.
Yes.
Right.
Still have to see that.
She watched the trailer. It's on Prime or something, and she watched the trailer, and she was like, "Huh?" I said, "You want to watch it? I'll watch it again." She's like, "Sure," and she really enjoyed it. But how? All right, Mark Flynn says ABBA got in 2010. All right, good deal.
Yeah.
Google, bitch. Yeah, he's the king of Google. Dave Phillips is king of the 45s. Mark Flynn is king of Google. Good. Thank you for that, Google. King. Google.
You know, if I ask my son for advice on stuff that young people know better than us, this is the reply. Google it, Dad.
Yeah.
Google it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I trust you more than the internet.
Tell me. Exactly. So we watched Wrecking Crew, the Wrecking Crew documentary, highly, highly recommended. I think people would be amazed at what they did.
Yeah.
And Glenn Campbell. How is he not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? But Dolly Parton is. Glenn fucking Campbell.
Yeah, those were all pop hits he had, the late '60s stuff. Is he in the Country Music Hall of Fame? Probably. Yeah, no rock and roll.
But Dolly Parton gets in just like Pat Benatar get in, just like they get in. Now it's like identity politics. We need more women, so we're gonna. Glenn Campbell isn't in the fucking rock, but Carly Simon is.
Yeah.
I think it has to do with how much money you made the record companies too.
I don't know at this point.
He had letter day hits, Rhinestone Cowboy.
Dude, he had the Glenn Campbell fucking happy hour.
Show. I'm Glenn Campbell.
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, just the fact that he sang Wichita Lineman, that one of the greatest songs ever written in the history of music.
Ever written, yeah.
From the music itself to the lyrics to the way he performs it, it's an untouchable song. It's an untouchable song. There's a lot of people that have done good versions of it. Right? It's pretty hard to, if you're going to do it, you better be fucking. Johnny Cash does on American. What was the albums he did with Rick Rubin?
The American one, yeah.
Yeah, he does a version. If you've never heard it of Wichita Lineman, that is
really.
Oh, it gives me. I get goosebumps just talking about it.
I like Dwight Yoakam's version.
Listen to Johnny Cash's. He's an older guy now, and it's. Rick Rubin's a genius in the studio.
REM's played it live.
Yeah, I would be interested to see that.
It's good. I mean, they did it well.
Yeah,
he had that trifecta at that point. It was like, by the time I get to Phoenix, Wichita Lineman, Galveston, I mean, that stuff's gold, man.
Yeah,
and he's not in. That's fucked up.
It's not, but Carly Simon is.
Yeah.
Think of that. And Glenn Campbell was part of the fucking Wrecking Crew. Now, there's two members of the Wrecking Crew that are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Right? Who are they, Lou?
Hal Blaine.
Oh.
And,
Can I take a stab?
Tommy Tedesco?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think it's Tommy Tedesco.
I was going to say Carol Kay.
She, like that girl, that lady.
Yeah.
Talk about not getting any fucking credit.
She's starting to now, but she's in the twilight of her, years.
Nobody knew who. Did you see all those little individual things she's played on?
Unbelievable.
The theme to MASH, amongst other things.
Yeah, unbelievable. How talented. And I said this to my wife. I said, this is how great Carol Kay was. Is that these guys, this fucking gang of fucking lunatics, right? This new generation of studio musicians. They come in like fucking gangsters, right? With that, not in suits,
t-shirts and jeans.
They just came in like a fucking mob, right? And just took over. They took over everything. And she was part of that.
Yep.
you know.
And things, you know, that it looks like they treated her well. It looks like, you know, she was one of the boys, you know, in that respect. But
Yeah.
it was her. The opening line of Wichita Lineman. She suggested that. Boom, boom,
She
boom,
did.
boom, boom, boom. That's been
Actually,
copied so many
she
times.
did the riff for Sonny and Cher's The Beat Goes On.
That's right.
The original was just like dun 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 dun, and she's like,
It's not swinging. It's not swinging.
She's like, let me try something. It's just doon 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 doon.
Yep.
Like she added that little funk into it, a little jazzy thing, a little swing, like you said, changed the whole melody.
Yep.
And all these people, we should, you know what? Let's talk about the Wrecking Crew next week.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I got to see the
Look at
documentary.
Lou's
now.
like, yeah.
I got to see the film.
Oh, you're gonna love it, dude. As a music guy, you're gonna love it.
Yeah. It's on. I think it's on Netflix or Prime. It's on streaming.
Yeah.
It's streaming. And anybody that's listening, to the
Hellboy.
7.5 people that are listening to this podcast, you don't have. Well, you evidently like music, so and if you like documentaries, this is a double barrel because it's really amazing. And I watched it again, and I still learned something.
Yep.
You know, like, oh shit. So Dave
It's got something
Phillips
for everybody too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And my wife,
engineers, musicians, and
and my wife, who's not, you know, she's not a big music person, but she absolutely enjoyed it because the songs that start to come back, she's like, oh, my father had that album, or, you know, the whole,
right.
It's just, she's like, they played on that. I was like,
Everything.
they were the Wrecking Crew.
The Wrecking Crew.
Dave Phillips says Glenn Campbell and Leon Russell worked together with many acts. And Glenn Campbell toured with the Beach Boys when Brian Wilson got kicked out.
He lost his shit.
Mike Love, fucking asshole.
Like I said,
we all agree on that.
King of the rock and roll assholes.
I did make it a point to tell my wife. I said, that guy right there from the Beach Boys, because Michael. I said, and I don't talk like this in front of my wife, really. Like, you know, I might have a couple blue words here and there jokingly, but I said, total fucking douchebag.
And he looks like it.
She just shook her head. She just kind of giggled like, oh man. I said, and I apologize, baby. I apologize, but that's what he is. That's what Mike Love is.
And he never took off that hat.
No. Stupid fucking hat.
And did he wear
Captain and Tennille hat? He might as well have on.
He was no Daryl Dragon, that's for sure.
No, he was Daryl Dragon. That's right.
He wore like a chrome hard hat to the Rock and Roll Hall. He wore some. It was like, what the hell are you wearing on your head, man?
Yeah, but he's rich, so he doesn't care.
Oh, he's rich. Right? And I mean, I think he might have some legit claim to some of the lyrics that he did write on some of those. Well,
but
he wrote a lot of the early
he's
lyrics.
always been jealous of Brian Wilson. Was always jealous of Brian Wilson. Always. He was just the lead singer. That's all he was.
You know who had the voice though? Carl.
Carl, yeah.
Carl had that voice.
Yeah. So September 16th. Well, this is kind of history right here. On September 16th, 1979, the Sugarhill Gang released Rapper's Delight in the United States.
Yes.
All right, the first rap single to become a top 40 hit. Everybody was mesmerized by that song.
Mm-hmm.
Every fucking white kid in suburban America.
Yeah.
It was a new rhythm.
Had that, and
they're rapping. That's like, it's a rhythm.
They didn't even know what rapping was. Like that was there was a subculture, you know, of music, and it was very inner city. And this comes out, and you know the story behind it. They got the rap from this guy that they knew he'd write lyrics, and they were like, "Hey, we'll buy that off you for like $20." So they just gave it to him.
Wow,
dude just gave it to them. And,
bad move.
Yeah, well, he didn't know it was going to turn out to be that,
right?
You know, but so Rapper's Delight kicked off what we know today as hip hop. Rap.
Had the pleasure of working kind of with Joe Robinson when he had the tapes and he re-released them in the 90s at my little place I worked in.
And who's Joe Robinson? Tell the people.
Sugarhill Records was Joe and Sylvia Robinson's label, right, Lou?
Yeah, Sylvia Robinson was Sylvia of Mickey and Sylvia from Love is Strange, that single.
All right.
So they came up from Englewood. They said, they had their recordings and they wanted to re-release this stuff. They didn't time it right, didn't do so good, but he was just truly nice guy, you know.
Here you go. That's why you guys are on this show.
Actually,
That's
that
the
came
only
up.
reason.
We're not residents anymore. We're squatters.
I'm not moving.
I'm not moving.
You know,
from this chair.
actually,
My ass is glued to this chair.
you have the link so you can actually drop in on any podcast you ever. I can't stop you.
You got to let us on. You have to ungreen room us.
Yeah, that's true. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Let's see. On September 17th, 1979, Ontario Court of Appeals rejects a government appeal against the previous year's sentencing of Keith Richards, which allowed him to avoid jail time for his 1977 arrest in Toronto for heroin possession. Now, if you ever want to know the story behind, and I've mentioned this podcast, Disgraceland, all right? Disgraceland is an outstanding podcast, and it's music stories, but it's particular stories, not like somebody's history, you know, like Sam Cooke. They'll tell a story. It's a 30-minute podcast, and they'll tell you a particular story that happened to like Sam Cooke. In this case, they talk about Keith Richards and the song "The Girl with Faraway Eyes." And I'm not going to tell you because I'll send you the link tomorrow. But if you go on Disgraceland, there's a bunch of stories about the Rolling Stones, of course, because it's always like crime or murder, or like I'm sure they did one on the dude that stabbed his mother,
Jim Gordon.
Yeah, I'm sure they did one on that.
And the Bobby Fuller story.
Yeah. Yep. So listen to Disgraceland. I'll try to find the episode and I'll text it to you guys tomorrow. But it tells the story of the girl far away as, and it has to do with that case. September 19th through 23, Musicians United for Safe Energy Muse stage a series of 5 No Nukes concerts.
Yes.
Remember the No Nukes concerts?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Tell me who was in that.
Jackson Browne.
1.
Bruce Springsteen.
2.
John Hall from Orleans. No, one of those bands. John Hall is the organizer, right? Jackson Browne.
Right.
Bonnie Raitt.
Yep.
I'm out. How about you, Mark?
Carly Simon was there.
Yes, she was.
And
I like Carly Simon. I do. I love Carly Simon.
You like her mouth. You like her mouth. Come
I
on.
love her mouth, but she doesn't belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
They did Mockingbird.
And, Tom Petty and Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Tom Petty was there.
Yeah.
Wow, young Tom Petty.
Were among the participants.
Cool.
Yeah, young Tom Petty. That's right. So imagine what his status was in '79 to be able to get into that show.
Damn the Torpedoes was the album.
Yeah, buddy. Yep.
Yeah.
September 22nd, 1979, Gary Newman hits #1 in the UK album charts with The Pleasure Principle, only 2 months after his Tubeway Army album, Replicas, had topped the chart.
Wow.
So, yeah.
The previous band he was in, they were broken up at that point.
Tubeway Army, yeah, I believe he just kind of went solo after that.
He got in his car.
Oh.
I love just making.
Then he went down in the park.
My favorite song is.
Yeah.
Hey, I found the Disgraceland.
I always thought his drummer was cool looking.
Yeah.
He's a wild looking guy. He had a very eccentric drum style.
Yep.
Moved his head around a lot.
Drummers, though, all they do is make noise.
That's right.
They don't play an instrument like a violin.
It's called the driver's seat.
You know, they can shut you up. If you're talking too much, they just start hitting their drums.
I tell them, I'm not the employee of your band person. Oh. I'm not the flea in your fucking flea
in
circus.
Your little flea circus, my friend.
Mr. McLean.
That's great. Let's see.
My drumsticks, I can't find them.
Oh, Jesus.
I have a ton here. You want?
Yeah, throw it over.
On September 27th, 1979, Elton John collapsed on stage at Universal Amphitheater in Los Angeles, California, while performing Better Off Dead. In this case, it was Better Off Passed Out. He refused to stop the show and resumed playing 15 minutes later. Good for him.
Do you know that song?
Today, he'd be like, I'm so tired.
Another soundbite for the
show. Understand. This is such rigor. Oh,
Rigor.
There
we go.
That's what he would say today.
Better off dead. Better off dead. Better off dead.
Or he'd fall down and like Phil Collins would go, "Oh my hip!
Oh God!
Oh my hip! Oh my back!
He's not even moving that much anymore.
Oh my body!" Anyways, okay. October 10th. October 10th, 1979. Joe Perry officially leaves Aerosmith and forms a little while later the Joe Perry Project. That was they were pretty popular, you would think, around the New England area. So he made a little bit of a living off that, you know.
He scored some radio play with "Let the Music Do the Talking."
Yeah, let the music do the talking.
Around that time,
was that him singing it?
Oh
yeah,
no, I don't
he had
think
a singer. He had a singer.
He had a singer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the two bands, offshoot bands.
Was it Dio?
Oh no, it wasn't Dio. Oh, fuck Dio.
Was it another journeyman singer?
I don't know. I forget the dude's name.
He had it was him. It was Joe Perry Project and the Rossington Collins Band were always playing like in the local clubs in New Jersey when I was around that time.
Yeah,
Rossington Collins. Wow, not bad.
Yeah, Rossington Collins had a hit in like 81.
Don't
right?
misunderstand me.
Yeah. Let's see. Mentioned earlier by Mark Flynn, I believe, on the live stream. November 3rd, 1979, Donna Summer becomes the first female artist to have 5 top 10 hits in the same year.
Wow.
But I don't know if anyone ever had a better year than her.
Right.
Like consistent year.
Yeah.
5 top 10 hits.
Yeah.
That's almost Beatle worthy.
It's like every other month. It's like every other month.
Yeah.
Just took a month off. Let me see. Here we go again. November 17th, 1979. Donna Summer for a second time has 2 songs. Dim All the Lights. Dim all the lights, the dance the night away. Anyways, number 2. And No More Tears. Not the Ozzy Osbourne song.
Shampoo.
Enough is Enough with Barbara Streisand. Number 3.
Enough is enough.
Yep.
It's
in the top 3 Billboard Hot 100. The first female to have 5 hits in the same year. We just said that. Not more Donna Summer stuff. Jesus, I'll just pass by her. Let's see.
On the radio.
Okay, this actually falls right into the endless list of last live performances that we will get to one of these months. I will finish that fucking list. November 26th, 1979, Bill Haley and his Comets, my mom's only concert she ever saw, perform at the Theatre Royal, Drury Lane, London, in a command performance for Queen Elizabeth II. This was Haley's final recorded performance of Rock Around the Clock.
I wonder who played guitar on it.
Oh,
that kick-ass guitar solo.
Yeah, right.
That's something to research.
Yeah.
Let's see. As we spoke about at the beginning of last week's show, November 30th, 1979, Pink Floyd releases The Wall. Is one of rock's most well-known concept albums and one of the best-selling albums of all time. It also is the last album recorded with the lineup of Gilmour, Waters, Mason, and Wright.
I almost said nope, but you're right. Final Cut, Wright wasn't on it. That's right.
Yeah.
So that's one of the biggest selling records of all time.
Yeah.
So that Dark Stuff, they have 2 of the biggest selling.
2. Imagine that.
Damn.
I was 10 years old, and I remember looking at that artwork going, oh my God, this is like cartoons I never saw. You know?
Do you know what the inspiration for Money? You know what song was the inspiration for Money from David Gilmour?
I Got You, Babe by Sonny and Cher.
No. Booker T and the MG's Green Onions.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, Green Onions.
Yeah.
That is the inspiration to
Sure.
Money. Look at that. See, I know stuff.
You do. Do you know what time signature Money is in?
Yeah, I
not
do.
the solo.
But I'm not answering
not
your
the
question.
solo. Not the solo.
I'm not going to answer your question because I am not a flea in your little flea circus, Mr. Calicchio.
Touche. It's funny when I saw the documentary. It's the main part's in 5/4 time, and there's 5 beats to a measure. Most rock is 4. So when they go to the guitar solo, it's just straight ahead 4/4 timing. 1, 2, 3, 4. And Gilmour was like thank God I didn't have to play guitar solo while counting to 5 every measure, which is maddening to begin with.
But what's amazing is they re-recorded it for the collection of dance songs, and David Gilmour played the drums. So he's not a bad drummer if he could do that.
Really?
5. Yeah, he had to re-record 2 songs because it was Harvest, I think, owned him, and they wouldn't let CBS have him for the thing. So if you listen to Money off the collection of great dance songs, it sounds just a little different. But Gilmour did a great job playing the drums.
Weird, because most guitar players cannot play the drums.
I can't.
But yet those musicians that spend so much time in the studio, they eventually pick up other instruments just to mess around, and then they get a little proficient in it, like Paul McCartney and
Paul McCartney, he was a good drummer. He played all the drums on Band on the Run record. I mean, he's really better than we might think.
Yeah.
So you can see George playing drums on the Get Back, the documentary.
Right.
Yeah. How could you not?
Yeah. Here you go, Mark. This one is for you. In December 1979, Iron Maiden. You're an Iron Maiden fan? You a metal fan?
Yeah. I was a metalhead growing up.
All right. Signed to EMI, they hired Dennis Stratton as a second guitarist.
Before Adrian Smith. And here's where the cross-pollination. You had the new wave of British heavy metal coming up, and you had the Dinosaurs still playing. It's a great time.
Yeah.
Def Leppard were in the mix. They were coming up,
I watched that Smoke on the Water thing you sent with the metal royalty on it.
Oh, yeah.
It's Bruce
did I get that text?
No.
What?
Or just Fleas, all right?
Is that a music relish thing? Am I not invited to that one? I mean, is this you guys are living separate lives?
Scott, do you remember?
I'm not in that gang.
He's got his eyes up in the air.
I'm not in that music relish gang.
It was a spur of the
a
moment.
Russian spy, a Chinese spy, and a fucking AI.
Net asshole. Net. They recorded Smoke on the Water Hearing Aid. Remember that?
Hearing Aid. That's right. Yeah.
Perry said that was the Armenian relief thing, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So Smoke on the Water. It's got Ian Gillan, Page is there, Blackmore,
Alex Lifeson, Richie Blackmore,
who's playing drums?
Iommi.
Roger Taylor's playing drums.
Yeah.
So James Alston just we've discussed this actually. He just messaged into the live stream. How do you guys rate Ringo? Ringo is a very adequate drummer for what the Beatles needed. Just like Charlie Watts, he knew how to keep them tight.
I'm not a drummer, and so my observance of Ringo is that I've heard many drummers say you can't play the songs like Ringo plays it.
That's
just
right.
like with John Fogerty's stuff with Creedence, a lot of guitarists say I can't play it like John Fogerty plays it.
Yeah.
He was a king of feel. Yeah. But he was much more creative than people give him credit for. Ringo's favorite drumming is on the song Rain. Listen to those fills and try to duplicate those fills. Even top world-class drummers are like, it's just interesting sometimes how he did it. But his feel, his time. Ringo had a swing. He swung.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Yeah, you had said that before. And the thing is, just like Charlie Watts, just kind of very monotone facial expressions, very robotic drum, not robotic, but just simple. They're not out to get attention. They're just there to play the music. Not like these big heavy rock drummers where everything's got to be a show and
boom, smack,
huge drum sets. And, the Beatles didn't need that.
Nope.
And the Rolling Stones didn't need that.
But if you listen,
when you got those guys up front, you don't need that behind you. But
listen to the drum patterns that say Charlie Watts is playing and Painted Black, other things. He's not just going boom crack, but he's playing. He was very jazzy, but no, he took his fills. He was very creative. Some guys don't play anything more than a beat. Hi-hat, kick drum, and a snare drum, and occasional cymbal crash. He incorporated a whole kit, but just did it. It wasn't obtrusive. That's the whole thing.
That's the word for it. Yes,
it didn't stand out, but it didn't detract, and it wasn't underplayed at all. I don't think it wasn't overplayed.
It's exactly what they needed. If he wasn't good enough, do you really think that fucking Lennon, McCartney, and Harrison would put up with him because they like him?
Oh yeah.
Just think of that. The fucking brilliance right there in itself that he stayed, that they kept him around.
Yep.
Puts him in another level.
Yeah, well, he passed the audition. I mean, George Martin didn't use him at first, but they didn't use any drummers then at all. Or those early King singles, is not Mick Avery. It's just we did a little segment on that drummer. That guy was freaking good, man. But Ringo eventually got on those. He played on the albums, at a time when a lot of drummers didn't.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, like I said, they wouldn't keep him around, those guys.
Yep, that's right.
Look what happened with the drummer in the Heartbreakers, right? Tom Petty's like, you're not keeping up. Like, these guys do not fuck around.
He was a good drummer, Lou. What was the whole? I think it was more the clash of egos, right? With those.
Well, I think he's a terrific drummer. I heard The Waiting today. The drumming is so good on that. I think he nailed it. I think he was a strong, solid drummer. He was known for having a sound. He had a big drum sound.
But Petty was looking for something that he wasn't bringing to the table.
Well, when they recorded Down the Torpedoes, Jimmy Iovine was having clashes, saying he didn't think Stan Lynch's drumming was mixing with Petty's vocal. There was something not happening there. And I don't know if even Petty or even Stan Lynch said so, but Stan Lynch was very humble about his playing. But then they kind of let him go, and they brought in all these studio hot shots, and they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So they brought him back, and he nailed it. Not only was he sang all those backups, all those higher backups in the early days, that's all Stan Lynch, I think. But he said he only got comfortable with his drumming at the end when he did the drumming on Mary Jane's Last Dance, which is really good.
Yeah.
Those drum fills are really, really cool.
I love that song.
He said at that point he felt he was fully comfortable. He thought he was rather stiff before that. And maybe he was a little bit, but it's felt good to me. I mean, Down the Torpedoes is one of the best albums in the history of rock and roll. And he's the drummer on it.
It has its spot. Yep. It definitely has its spot.
Perry claims he tried to burn down Petty's house after he got fired, though.
Well, those urban legends, or whether it really happened. Well,
no.
I think he would have been in jail if he had. Well, evidently he got away with it because didn't Petty's house burn down?
Well, yeah, that was just
in Florida.
That was just something, but we used to goof around there because he had Stan Lynch had a reputation as a hothead. So the Petty said when he hired him, he goes, "The only thing is you can't threaten anybody in this band if you're to play with us." So he was pretty. He was young. He was younger than him by a bit. He was a young buck. But apparently the guy had a temper.
Yeah.
But Don Henley said he's a bottomless well of one-liners. I said he's a hysterically funny guy. You meet him in person, but
who's that?
Stan Lynch.
Stan Lynch, yeah.
Just like you, Lou.
Ba-boom. He's a big producer now.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, interesting.
Nashville.
Let's see. December 3rd, I think Lou. I know you and I remember this. I don't know about Mark in 1979.
Mark wasn't born yet.
I was 10. Come on, I was 10. I'm starting to get the peach.
Well, that was the infamous Who concert in Cincinnati. At Riverfront Coliseum. 11 fans died, 26 others injured.
You know how I learned about that?
Well, the crazy thing is, when the band found out about it? After the show.
Yeah.
I learned about it from WKRP in Cincinnati.
That's right.
I watched that episode. I go, what happened at a Who concert? My sister told me the whole story.
Is that funny?
Wow. Yeah. Let's see.
That was a good show.
Excellent show.
One of the greatest scenes in the history of music, in the history of television. The fucking turkeys. There's no. That is right up there with the long. You know what the longest laughter? Because back then they filmed these things in front of live studio audiences.
Live studio audiences.
The movie. The show All in the Family. Do you know what scene got the longest laugh in the history of that show?
The Sammy Davis Jr. scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to put the turkeys up there with Sammy kissing Archie for the picture. And there's a few others.
Is that what happened?
In your eye or something?
Yeah, he says, okay, he brings Sammy Davis his wallet because he was in Archie's cab and says, I'll just come to the house and pick it up. And he's talking to Archie and he figures out that Archie's this kind of bigoted racist, but he doesn't know it. Like, he's Archie. He's just the ignorance it's just flowing, right? Yeah. And Sammy Davis figures this out, right? And he says, okay. He's like, hey, can we get a picture? Can I get a picture with you? And he goes, sure. He goes, just let me know. He says, we'll do it on 3. He goes, 1, 2. And then Archie says 1, 2. And at that point, Sammy Davis kisses him on the cheek. It's 3. And there's the picture of him kissing Archie, the black guy kissing Archie on the cheek.
And Archie's face was classic.
The whole place just fell. I mean, it's the longest laugh in the history of All in the Family.
Yeah, I started watching the first season. I forgot what they're on Prime or something.
Oh my God!
I hadn't seen them in probably since the original run, and I watched like 4 of the first. It's so good.
And Rob Reiner never changed. He's always been meathead. He still has those political views, and he's still a fucking meathead.
Whoa.
Anyways,
you know what I liked about WKRP?
Let's boogie.
What I liked about KRP, the reason I loved it was in the beginning, the opening shots, there was a scene of Johnny Fever with an Emerson, Lake and Palmer poster.
Wow. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I was like, there's an ELP poster on TV.
December 26, 1979, Iron Maiden drummer Doug Sampson is replaced by ex-Samson drummer Clive Burr. Mm-hmm. Sampson gets replaced by Samson drummer Clive Burr.
Wow.
Let me see. Here you go. December 26th through 29th, the concerts for the people of Kampuchea are held in 4 nights at the Hammersmith Odeon in London to raise funds for victims of the war in Cambodia. You named some of the bands that were in that.
The Specials, Elvis Costello,
The Jam.
Obviously the Who, Queen,
Queen, yeah.
Paul McCartney, Wings.
Well, Wings, yeah.
Rockestra. Were the Pretenders in that?
I don't know. I'm just looking at a few.
I'm just thinking of the album because
Led Zeppelin played in that too.
They did?
Yeah.
See, they're not on the album. Peter Grant wouldn't let them.
Wouldn't let them, probably, yeah.
Money to be made, and if we have to give it to charity, we're not going to.
We're not giving it to anybody.
What month was this?
That was December 26th through 29th, 1979.
December. When did Bonham die?
Died in 80, didn't he?
He died in, okay, yeah. That's right.
Yeah. Right after In Through the Outdoor.
My sister had tickets to see them, Lou, on that tour in 80. I would have went.
Yeah.
And I would have seen him at like 11 years old.
Well, I had a chance to go see Pink Floyd at the Boston Garden when I was in middle school, junior high, as we called it back then.
Yeah.
And, but the only rub was we were all going to meet at the graveyard and they were going to, they were going to bust out some Angel Dust. And I was like, I'm going to have to skip that one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. We weren't exactly the nicest kids in the world. Yeah. Middle school. Smoking Angel Dust. I gave a little too much information, maybe, but it is what it is. It was 1979.
You took a pass.
I took a pass. Yeah,
good for you.
So that's not too much information. You did the right thing.
I never liked smoking shit. I didn't like weed. I was never a big weed smoker. I didn't like, especially dust and. Especially since I had a friend that he would deal weed and he would spray it with Raid sometimes. I don't know.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
It's just
Raid. Is that to keep bugs from eating it, or is this?
I don't know. Maybe he called it Angel Dust. I don't know.
Yeah, really. Right. Surprise!
He called it Raid.
He called it Raid.
Raid Dust.
Okay, moving on from my drug.
You're not going to listen to Grateful Dead when you smoke that.
No. Let's see. We're coming up on the end of 79. So let's see. December 31st, New Year's Eve, 1979. The 8th annual New Year's Rockin' Eve special airs on ABC with appearances by the Oak Ridge Boys, Village People, Chic, Blondie, and Barry Manilow because that was the end of disco.
Copacabana.
79 was about the end of disco.
Yeah. But Blondie was there.
Blondie, yeah. Everyone says she's punk rock. Blondie was more, or they were more pop punk.
Like kind of new
pop
wavy.
Punk. They weren't really. Then they switched over to that new wave, but they were more pop punk than I think than punk rock itself. So let's finish up with also in 79. There's a little add-ons here. Michael Schenker leaves the Scorpions during their tour in France and is replaced by
Matthias Jobs.
I call him Jab.
Yeah.
That deserves a second. Enough of that. I don't want to get Lou's Flea Circus all built up and praised.
Hey, he's got a wool cap on hiding those fleas.
I see. He's got the woolly on, yeah.
I have fleas on my
got the Scully on right now. Right. Not the Scally, the Scully.
It's a little chilly here tonight.
Okay.
Gotta have hair.
Also in 79, Stevie Wonder uses digital audio recording technology to record his album's Journey Through the Secret Life of Plants. Not one of Stevie's biggest albums, I don't think.
Promoted the shit out of that Circus Magazine.
Yeah.
It was like one of the few R&B albums that were being promoted. I remember it was every month.
What are the you know any songs that came off that album?
Personally, no. I was a Songs on the Key of Life guy.
That's it.
Well, that's
right?
great.
Let's see. And disco reigns supreme this year with several number one hits from the Bee Gees and Donna Summer, as we always covered. Several artists who were not regarded as disco acts scored major successes by releasing disco-oriented singles and albums, including New Wave, the New Wave and Blondie, right, with their first number one single, Heart of Glass. Rod Stewart, me and Mark's good tune, Do You Think I'm Sexy?
Awesome
Do
too.
you want my body? And
Get the bagpipes out.
ELO came up with their
Disco album, Discovery.
Yep.
Not a bad album, though.
Is that a tongue-in-cheek thing? Discovery.
I don't know. Maybe,
Jeff
maybe,
Lynne's
but
better.
they all jumped on that fucking money, that money train.
Even if it was like one or two songs, like Kiss, right? Kiss did an album with 2 disco songs. That's their disco album. The rest of it wasn't,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I looked up Secret Life of Plants. I don't think there was any hits on it.
Hmm.
Some of these titles, it's a 4-album thing too.
Wow.
Gee. Anywho.
I'm just trying to get rid of this spam that we just got on the
Spam.
It might be Perry. It might be Perry.
Lovely spam.
feisty man.
Stick with Renegade. Didn't Renegade have Pee Wee
No,
Herman on it?
78. That was 78 with Pieces of Eight, I think. It was Cornerstone was Styx's year, if I'm not mistaken, with Babe.
I don't know, Dave Phillips. Google it.
Well, he might know. I was only 10 then, so.
And wasn't Pee Wee Herman the guest vocalist on Renegade?
Ah! Ah!
You renegade. You got
Well, what? How can you do your Pee Wee, but Lou can't do his Michael McDonald? Now, come on.
You know what, Mark? You know what, Mark? 30 seconds
sweater.
penalty box. 30 seconds. It's in the box. 30
And
seconds.
I'm not gonna do it. I won't do it.
Yeah. No, Mark's going just for inciting. He's inciting. he's inciting trouble on the podcast.
That's right. He's being
Oh,
an
he's got-
instigator.
Got 15 seconds left.
He's being a
Drinking
punk.
wine. He's pouring more. He's filling his glass up. He's enjoying his time in the penalty
Oh,
box.
sure. Give him a chance for a refill.
Yeah. There we go. 3, 2, 1. Okay, you're back. He's passed. He's got the bottle on his chest.
He's gone.
He's passed out.
He's in. Call the paramedics.
He's been guzzling for 30 seconds. I think he just finished the bottle. Yeah, Bad Company. I think we talked about that. Bad Company did Rock and Roll Fantasy. Yeah. That was a good album. So that's 79. We covered it in less than an hour. Wow. We got more to talk about. This isn't the end of the podcast.
Can we add a few?
Yeah, bring it on, my friend. Bring it on.
Get the notebook out. Get
Keep
the
it
notebook
going.
out.
Break out that Bible, Lou. Break
I got
out
a
that Bible.
Well, you remember that Graham Parker album with Squeezing Out Sparks we were talking about?
Yeah.
All right. Was it Don't Bother with Local Girls?
Don't bother with the local girls.
And remember Protection?
That's the part of the show last week when I was knocked off the air, by the way.
Let's not do it. Well, the guy that produced that was a guy named Jack Nietzsche. So I remember seeing that name in all our little searches. So he was what did he do? He worked with Phil Spector. He was Phil Spector's right-hand man.
Oh, wow.
He was the orchestrator. Like, Phil Spector had the production things, but this guy actually orchestrated the Wall of Sound for Phil Spector. He did the soundtrack to The Exorcist, one for The Cuckoo's Nest. He co-wrote Up Where We Belong.
Oh, wow.
I'll bring you up where we belong.
With Diane Warren, right?
Well, Diane Warren,
Lift you
it was written with Buffy St. Marie and some guy named Will Jennings.
From Buffy and Jody?
From a family
Affair?
Did
you ever hear the urban legend about Buffy?
No.
She turned into like a heroin addict, and
they were doing that back then.
Thing, yeah.
Who was the girl that got caught by her coat in the bus and got dragged to her death?
Oh, Isadora Duncan? No, she was Isadora Duncan was a ballet. That really happened to her. She was a famous ballet performer, and she had on this long fucking scarf, and she was walking through like by some cars on a street, and the fucking thing got caught and like somehow on a car and fucking dragged her.
Oh,
horrible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on to better
Moving
things.
on.
Then getting
Moving
dark.
on. This took a dark twist for a second.
you know, Lou, we get the show dark. Even if we don't say it, we get Scott to say it.
Yeah, I'll bring on some of that useless knowledge that floats around. We all have it, buddy. We all have it. I am not the only one with useless knowledge.
So Jack Nietzsche also co-wrote with Sonny Bono, Needles and Pins. So this guy was around for a long time. He played piano on Painted Black and Let's Spend a Night Together with the Stones.
Wow.
He was in Crazy Horse for a while. He toured Crazy Horse. He did stuff for the Monkey's Head. He wrote the choral arrangement for You Can't Always Get What You Want by the Stones. And he apparently became a really bad alcoholic and drug addict. So in the 90s, he was in an episode of Cops. He was in some kind of altercation. He thought some kids were threatening him, so he brandished the gun at them and ended up drunk on an episode of Cops.
Oh.
Yeah. But it's like, but
any publicity is good publicity.
Yep. There were some singles we didn't mention though that were kind of groundbreaking.
Bring it on.
Pop Music by M.
Yep. Everybody's talking about.
That's right. Do you remember the rumor about that song?
No.
It was rumored that it was actually John Lennon was M.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
because no one knew who it was. Yeah. That's right. Yep.
Two of my favorite rock singles of the time. I was just learning how to play drums, a lot of the stuff, and these were pretty instrumental. Remember Sniffing the Tears, Driver's Seat?
Oh, great fucking
Driver's
song.
Seat. Ooh.
Great song. Great opening, too. Great drummer at the beginning.
Yeah, it's real. That's right. That's almost the whole song. A lot of discipline.
Yep.
That was in number 15, but that was in 79. Remember Flash in the Pan?
Walking in the rain.
What was that?
Flash in the Pan.
That was one of their songs?
Yep.
I only know the Hey St. Peter.
No, this one. As a matter of fact, let me get it real quick.
Oh, cool.
This was the song that they played on the station in let's see, in Boston. Let me see. Walking in the Rain.
WBOS. WB.
It was it was WBCN. So let me see. Here we go.
Walking down the street, chicken cans, looking at the billboard, also ran, summing up the people, checking out the race, doing what I'm doing.
Didn't know that song.
No.
Walking in the rain.
Great song.
Cool.
Great song. Download it.
I'm going to listen to that album because is that on the same album?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. So do you know who the guys were
I do, but off the top of my head, I honestly do, but off the top of my head, I'm not going to pull it out. I'm Smittying. I have a Smitty moment.
It's Harry Vanda and George
going
Young.
in the green room.
What's that, Lou?
Harry Vanda and George Young. They were in the band The Easy Beats.
The Easy Beats, right.
And who are they related to?
George Young is the older brother of Malcolm and Angus Young of AC/DC. So Vanda and Young, I think, produced a couple of their earlier AC/DC albums. But I want to hear that album after, just on the basis of that Walking in the Sand or whatever.
Walking in the Rain. Yeah, you see the video. It's a bizarre kind of video.
Interesting.
On YouTube.
They had to be pretty. Well, they were pretty old when they did that. I mean, they were big in the '60s. So
yeah, very very different
very
sound.
Cool. Yeah,
you know. But that song is a great song. It kind of has that eerie kind of.
Yeah, I like it.
Constant and it's a really cool song. So yeah, Flash and the Pan. Right.
Now we have another big single from one of your favorite singers, and it goes like this: Time Passages.
Oh, it's Al Stewart. Al Stewart. Time Passages.
Buy me a ticket on the last.
Buy me a ticket on the last train home tonight. Yeah.
Go like that, you know.
It's the year of the cat.
I like that. I like Year of the Cat.
That's a great song. Oh,
That's a good
I
song.
love Time Passes. See, listen, I tell you, I thought
call
Al
Time-
Stewart for all these years. That's the way he sings.
It's just the game that you play.
Just the game, right? And I'm like, oh, he's gay. He's gay. And that's all right. I'm like,
I-
that's all right.
but he's not. He's
but I
not.
said that's all right. And then I'm like, I find out he's married, and
It's just
I'm
European, you know?
like good,
He's
good
English.
for you, Al. You pulled it off, buddy. You pulled it off.
You managed.
You managed. You got,
Oh, that's terrible.
I'm telling the truth.
Okay,
I did.
Ian
I'm like,
Dury,
oh boy.
Ian Dury and the Blockheads. Hit me with your rhythm stick.
Hit me
Right.
with your rhythm stick.
Number one
Hit
UK
me.
hit.
Hit me. Yeah.
That was the.
That's Ian Dury and the Blockheads,
Ian
right?
Dury and the Blockheads, and Robert Christgau, who calls himself the Dean of American Rock Critics. He started this famous. It's called Paz and Jop poll. Get it, pop and jazz. That was the number one song of the year according to him, which is pretty. From that guy, that's pretty high praise because he could be a real scathing.
It's a
reviewer.
pretty, it's an interesting
Great song.
song. It's very
Oh, yeah.
quirky.
In the deserts of Sudan.
Yeah.
Hit
Yeah.
me hard, hit me.
Yeah.
But do you know about Ian Dury? What his life was like?
No.
He got polio at the age of 7. He thought he got it from a swimming pool in England. He got polio. He was in like a plaster body cast for a while. He had a horrible childhood as far as health, but his whole left side was withered and paralyzed from whole left side. So his leg, his arm, his shoulder. So if you ever seen him play, he's always kind of like this. It's hard for me to do it here, but the left hand was
It's
on
a
the mic stand.
podcast. Yeah.
Don't knock
For
your
those of you that
wall
don't know, exactly.
I'm going to describe Lou's posture right now.
He's crippling his hand around the mic stand. But
Okay,
yeah,
let
so
it
his
hang.
whole left side was like really
around the
withered.
mic stand.
But he was cool. And also another big hit, Ian Gomm's Hold On.
Hold on.
Hold on to what you got.
Oh,
I've
yeah,
been
yeah, yeah.
living on it. It's in a car commercial now.
Yeah.
And but he yep. So there was some cool things. I thought so now was just, like I said, a great year for rock, great year for even some of these singles, great year for the radio.
Yeah. Yeah. It really was. It really was. And then every at the end of the show, I'm going to do the top 10 this week and what was it? 7 and 80. And you'll see the comparison between 79 and a year later,
Seismic.
the difference in what
But you know
was
what's
in.
ironic?
Yeah.
1980, the Rolling Stones put out a disco song, "Emotional Rescue." There was still a little of that disco the next year.
Do you think that's a disco song?
It's definitely influenced by it.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
I love that song.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's a great
Knight in
song. Good
shining
album.
armor. Oh, it is. Yeah.
Come
Good
into
album.
your emotional rest. You know what else happened in 1979?
What?
I lost my
Oh,
I
Lou
lost
became
my-
a man.
a man.
He became a man in 79. He was 23, but he became a man.
I was 30.
I was 10.
Yeah. And
It was a big-
Mark would go on to become a man 15 years later.
I graduated high school.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Big year in 1979.
So let's see. I got this other stuff. Yeah, let me see. Let's get back into I'm not gonna be able to find this shit. Should have had it ready.
I hate it when the host isn't prepared. Oh my god.
I know, right?
You want
I
to talk
know.
opera, Lou?
Great moments in opera history.
How the fuck did this
When
just
Rigoletto has to actually carry the
Shit.
body of his dead daughter up the stairs
And not trip.
in that trip
And sing.
and sing.
And the makeup didn't run.
All right.
He sang Last Dance with Mary Jane.
Did you know Ian Gomm also co-wrote "Cruel to Be Kind" with Nick Lowe?
Hmm.
And "Cruel to Be Kind" was also a number 12 Billboard Hot 100 hit in the year 1979.
Wow.
Fucking great year.
That
Great
is.
year.
Keep going.
And in when I first started, so I graduated college that year. I went to Seton Hall University to go to college, and I remember "In Through the After" just came out. I'm like, huh, this is interesting. This is because I wasn't the biggest Zeppelin fan in high school, and I kind of like this one. And I'm like, John Bonham has just died. I'm like, oh, well, here we go, because Keith Moon died 2 years before.
No, he
Yeah.
died that year.
No, he died 79. So wait,
Oh, yeah.
no,
They were a
So-
year apart. Keith Moon was 79, right? He died.
I think so. Yeah,
And
I
then
don't-
Bonham
it-
made it less than a year. Yeah.
two biggies.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been hearing some new Who stuff. I think it's new Who stuff. Is it?
I can't listen to Roger Daltrey sing anymore. It's
Who,
sad.
it's weird. Is this a new one I'm hearing? I'm hearing song titles. I can't place them now, but I hear Townsend singing a lot, but
yeah,
they're kind of they're very tame. They're almost acoustic.
Townsend still got it with his stuff, but Daltrey, it sounds so forced when he sings.
Really?
Oh. Yeah, it's bad. It's hard. And then he complains that he's singing too hard. Well, then stop singing.
Because people are smoking too much marijuana in the audience.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna do a rock
concert.
concert.
It's a Who concert. Come on.
We're gonna do a rock concert, but nobody can smoke. I mean,
well, I think things have changed, man.
Yeah. I think Scott's internet went.
I'm still here. No, I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm still here.
He found a way to keep his head moving when his internet goes out.
It's a 3D photo.
I went through this whole fucking spiel today to get this stuff kind of lined up. So
Dave Phillips got married in 79. Are you still married to the same woman, Dave Phillips?
Yeah, I think he is. He is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Staying power.
Why can't I get this? Let me see.
Well, dead air.
Are the Rolling Stones the greatest band of all time?
All right, here we go. I have a list of the 20 longest charting albums in music history.
I know one of them.
20 longest charting albums.
20 longest charting albums. Yeah.
Albums, is this popular music? Is this rock?
It's a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything.
Looks like, yeah. So starting at number 20, Lana Del Rey from 2012. Born to Die. Right? She's still like, she has an interesting career.
My daughter.
I like her voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
She has a new album out, I think.
She's quality. She's got good music.
Yeah. She's easy to look at too.
At first I thought she sang like she had a massive head injury. Out on the West Coast, you gotta say. I got hit with an anvil out of a building, like some coyote dropped a piano
massive,
on her head.
not just a head injury, a massive head injury, Lucy. Not just a bump on the head.
No, that's a pipe wrench to the side.
No, this is a massive. This is like a baseball bat upside the head.
You look like one of the preachers at the bar in Star Wars. You know?
Yeah. James Alston says, "Hey Scotty, you from New England? Yeah, Boston. Let it roll. Yeah, let the good times roll."
James Alston will come off sounding like he doesn't know anything. Trust me, he's one of the smartest guys I know, and he taught me a lot.
Does he know about music?
Yeah, more than he'll let on.
Hey, James, there might be an opening. Mark keeps his instigating on the show.
He's been replacing me in a lot of things lately.
there might be an opening here. So just hang in there, buddy. Hang in there. You might make an appearance here. Yeah, let's see. Hey, how's our buddy Tom Spallone doing?
Tom's doing really good. He's
I was thinking of him today. I'm like, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Mark. I was thinking of him today. I'm like, he's the one Lou does it all the time. What is this, music relish?
Hey guys, don't step on each other.
And I was like, Tom kind of came in and he was around and like, I'm like, hey Tom, and then all of a sudden it's like he introduces us and then
Tom's working like 20 jobs. You ever see that skit on what was the skit that the Wayans, the show the Wayans did in Living Color? And they had that one with the Jamaican family. I've got 5 jobs. I got 10. I got 15. That's Tom. He's always.
When you could do that on TV and you wouldn't get canceled because, that's racist and those liberals.
I'll text Tom and it's like takes 3 days from him if I get a reply. So we can talk about him because we know he's not listening to us because he doesn't have time to listen.
He doesn't have time though. Yeah.
So I tell you a story about Tom.
Yeah, we got plenty of time. No,
he can come up here rather quick.
Okay, the 19th longest charting album in history is the My Fair Lady cast album.
Huh? Okay.
Stayed on the charts for 480 weeks.
Damn.
Yeah. Then number 18 is Johnny Mathis. Johnny's Greatest Hits. 1958.
That album. My dad loved that.
490 weeks on the charts.
My old girlfriend's mother just met. She goes to Johnny Mathis shows. She always gets a picture with Johnny.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he's still doing it.
He's still doing it. Yep. Number 17, longest charting album in history. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers' Greatest Hits from 1993.
Wow.
Wow. Cool.
Didn't know
Good
that.
album.
Yeah.
Good album. 499 weeks it stayed on the charts. Number 16, I thought maybe this would have been up a little further in the charts, but maybe not. It's not. Fleetwood Mac Rumours from 1977.
Right, really.
514 weeks.
Was that number 7? What number was that?
16.
16.
Yeah. Number 15 is Drake, the rapper, for people that don't really know. Take Care from 2011, 518 weeks. A lot of greatest hits. You got Queen, Greatest Hits from 1981, 528 weeks.
Their best greatest hits album.
Their best greatest hits? Like there's
There
more
was
than
like
one, right?
20
Yeah.
freaking greatest
Kind of
hits.
like Carly Simon. Half her discography is greatest hits albums. Just fucking in different order, and then they take a song out and add another one in.
4 songs.
Jesus.
His
But
Big
it's
Daddy.
got the
his
same
ba- his
core
Big Daddy on it.
songs.
Sometimes you can assemble a greatest hits album and the flow is like Rod Stewart's Greatest Hits Volume 1 with the pink red cover. That
Yeah.
album flowed so good, and it had the full Killing of Georgie, and that was great. Flowed. So the Queen one too.
You know what I listened to the other day, and I can't stop listening to it now. I actually heard it at the end of a show. It was one of these maybe Prime or Netflix shows. It's Ooh La La by Faces.
Ah, great song.
I can never get the verse down though. I wish I knew what I knew
I
then.
knew now.
Then
When I was young.
I can never get it. Like as much as I try when I'm not listening to the song. I wish that I knew then what I know now.
You got
when
it.
I was younger.
You got it.
Such a great song.
That's Rod Stewart, right?
Ooh la la. Yeah, it's
Oh,
Rod
yeah,
Stewart
and
Faces. Yeah.
He
That's
did a
after
great
Steve
version
Marriott.
of it later on, like in the 90s. He
Yeah.
re-recorded it.
Let's see.
I'm with-
Dave Phillips says Eagles' greatest hits must be high on the list. We'll
Yeah.
see. We
Yeah.
will see. Don't Google, Dave. Wait.
Yeah, wait.
Wait. Don't be like Mark Flynn. We'll do it just anyways, and then he'll pop in and go, oh, that's number blah. Better not fucking do that if he's listening. If he's watching. Let's see. Kevin Corkum just messaged in, replying to Dave Phillips. I'm not. See, now there's spoilers. Spoiler alert. I'm not reading the comments. Okay, we're going to keep going. Number 13,
Oh my
longest.
God, look at that comment.
I'm not looking at the comments. I'm not. And you keep instigating. You get another 30 seconds on the clock.
Because I got to go to the bathroom.
Go.
In fact,
They
I'm
always
just
say,
going to go.
just go. Just go.
I want to hear these albums now.
All right, here we go.
Mark,
Number
can you do that in 30
13.
seconds?
Yeah, I know. What are you 7?
You got a piss bottle.
So I'm looking
He's-
for.
Mark,
Piss
he's like a
bottle, man.
7-year-old. Tinkle, 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 tinkle,
time.
tinkle. I'm done, mommy.
Mark's
I'm
got tinkle
done.
time.
All right, and then you tell him you're supposed to pull your pants up after you're done. Anyways,
I only did that once when I was a kid.
so
Come
number
on.
14 was Queen's Greatest Hits. Number 13, Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City, 2012, 536 weeks on the chart.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Number 12 is Adele, 21, from 2011, 549 weeks on the charts. Number 11, AC/DC, Back in Black, 1980. So I guess that answers the who was bigger in the in the 80s.
INXS,
I think we
right?
kind of knew that anyways. Them are AC. 553 weeks on the charts. Let's see. Number 10. This is surprising. I thought this would have been much higher. But at number 10, Michael Jackson's Thriller from 82.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have thought of too.
559 weeks on the charts. So that tells you something. So that's it was at one time the largest selling album ever.
Yeah.
Fastest, largest selling album. Number 9, see, this is where it gets a little funny. Bruno Mars, Doo-Wops and Hooligans from 2010. It's 609 weeks.
We're getting into streaming now, and they count that, right?
Yeah, that could be a point. Yeah, that could be a point.
Let me see. It reached the 500 week mark and has remained in the Billboard 200 for 609 weeks thus far. I'm sure this is an older article. Number 8, Guns N' Roses Greatest Hits from 2004. It's been over 600 weeks. They don't give a number though. Let's see. Guns N' Roses Greatest Hits. They only had what, fucking 4 albums? 3 albums? 4 albums? You know, it's like
taking 20 years to do an album, so they do a greatest hits album.
Number 7 on the list is Nirvana. Nevermind.
Wow.
Yep. From 1991. Number 6 on the list of 20 longest charting albums in history. Eminem, Curtain Call, The Hits, 2005. So this is a lot of greatest hits albums, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does that tell you? Right? What does that say?
It says albums as a whole aren't as good as the singles.
Right. Right. I mean, I think we had talked about that, though. I had mentioned that if you got an album back in the day that had 4 good songs on it, that was a good album.
Yeah.
You know?
Which is reduced expectations, considering there was a time. Look, how many albums that we owned or listened to, the whole album's great. You know, might be a few weaker songs, a little filler here and there, but much more than 4 or 5 good songs. Though.
I kind of did that with Queen albums, though. I wasn't like, I was never a huge Queen fan. I know that sounds sacrilegious, but in music, but like.
Whoa. No, just joking. I agree with you. Now, it's Queen for me, their golden age, I think every song was killer. And in the 80s, they started to get filled.
Yeah.
Find the albums and like the works. I'm like, some of the songs suck.
Yeah. Yeah. It's different people's taste.
Oh, wait. I got to correct. Perry, my vocal coach, says I have to say it different. So I got a few albums in the 80s and kind of sucked. I'm supposed to talk lower. I'm supposed to talk lower.
Put a little bass in your voice.
Yes. I'm not. I talk too high, right, Lou? You know.
No, you be who you are.
Okay.
That's right.
Don't let him talk to you like that.
You do.
Perry never told me anything. I'm joking. Trying to get him make a comment or something.
He's not watching. He's working. He's another one that works crazy.
Yeah.
Number 5 on the 20 longest charting albums in music history. Creedence Clearwater Revival Chronicle from 1976.
Yeah, wow, massive.
Yeah.
Staying power.
Dave Phillips says that's why he bought 45s when he was a kid.
That's all right.
I have one of those 45 box. It's a box like
like a file box.
And it's got the colors on it. Like someone gave it to me out of their collection, right? And it's got like the turquoise, like diamonds and white.
I got one
black.
too. I'm looking for it.
It's like retro cool, you know. I would never put one of those records on my turntable because the needle would probably break. Or the stylus.
Yeah, the stylus.
But we all call it, people still today call it the needle.
The needle, yeah.
Yeah. Number 4. Here you go, Mark. I'll throw a bone to you. But I think Lou and I are in like this also. It's number 4 is Metallica, 1991.
The Black Album.
As the album nears 700 weeks in the Billboard 200.
No
other metal band has come within sniffing distance.
But Jethro Tull won the Grammy for the metal.
Isn't that?
I was a Metallica fan when they were in New Jersey with Megaforce, and I listened to those albums, and they were a breath of fresh air. I can see why people liked punk in the 70s. It was like something new. By the time the Black Album came out, I kind of got tired of them. And I noticed people like in their 30s now, that's their Led Zeppelin. But they don't have the depth to me. I don't see the
interesting
depth.
Point. That's a very interesting observation. Yeah.
And I don't know. I think they do a good thing. God bless them. They're still playing. They're still selling out. Yeah, it's great to see a rock band sell out arenas. But they had an edge in the 80s that I think they lost. But you can't keep that up.
I saw a clip of the drummer from Slayer filling in for Lars Ulrich because he was ill. The guy was good.
Yeah, he's very good.
I mean, they sounded really good with him. A lot of people say Lars, he's not, they say the greatest drummer. He's not the worst. He's not bad.
He does what he does good. He's
good.
Exactly.
He's almost like He can be called the Ringo of metal, you know.
And you can't get rid of him because he is one of the founders of the band.
That's right. As long as he can still keep up the tempos and stuff like that.
Well, he's the leader too. He's a leader in that band.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
He's, you know,
Like him and Hetfield, that was their
definitely both strong egos.
But when
big
Hetfield
egos.
walked out the door in that movie because he had to go to his therapist and everything.
Some kind of monster.
Yeah, and then Lars took
talking about.
over. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got two things out of this show tonight. I am not a flea in your little flea circus. And, you know, if you think about it, Metallica is this generation's Led Zeppelin. Look at that. See, these are too good. This is good stuff.
But think about it.
I'm going to own the Florida rights to this stuff, by the way. I own the Florida. I can't say it outside of Florida, but I can say it in the state. I at least get those rights.
Doesn't that get
It's
you
your
a little?
payment for being on my show.
You can have it all.
signing away your
I
image.
steal your signature things.
Doesn't it get you a little annoyed that they say that? Because Led Zeppelin had depth. They had different kinds of music. So the Who, the bands we listened to in the 70s, they had different. Metallica are very monolithic. So for them to say that's our Led Zeppelin, no, they're not a Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
It was their heavy. It was their heavy music for them.
Yeah. Because they weren't introduced to Led Zeppelin. They probably never went beyond.
Yeah.
And
So this guy I work with, he's 40, and he likes both Metallica and Zeppelin. And he said, I said, well, when did you first start listening to Zeppelin? He goes, like in middle school. He goes, and right away I was like, bam. But because I really liked Metallica in high school. So, because it was a newer band too. You know, Led Zeppelin was still your older brothers and older sisters.
Yeah.
Hard rock from the 70s. But, you know, I think there's a correlation there, maybe not musically, but as far as influence and
influence, yes.
how many Metallica denim jackets have you seen in your life?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot.
More than
right.
Jeff Beck's. When I was in high school, it was Jeff Beck Blow by Blow album cover. Everyone had a denim jacket with that guy, you know, the cover.
Jeff Beck on there?
Yeah, I read Jeff Beck's estate that they're actually going to be releasing a new product under his name, the Jeff Beck hair dye. It's only black.
Time for the green room. That was horrible.
Okay, hold on. I'm in.
Wait, is it going to be?
That's called Motley Crue Black.
We can't see him though. No, it's called what's the name of that band? The band they made the movie.
The movie Spinal Tap.
Yeah, it's Spinal Tap Black.
Black.
Yeah. Oh, geez, we can't do the show without him. Oh my God.
It's preternaturally black.
Yeah. Can you imagine what he looked like without? That
All
was.
right, I put myself in the penalty box with.
Yeah, we got
30 seconds for a
ourselves,
bad joke.
I started pulling Albert Brooks from Broadcast News. I was sweating. Yeah.
Do you know who's not dyeing his hair? And I saw a video and it's hysterical. Bruce Springsteen.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he looks like Woody Allen.
That one picture he does, but there's a concert clip he's doing 10th Avenue Freeze out, and he's leaning over, he's singing, he's handing a kid something out of his pocket. It's kind of weird looking. It looks like it's a piece of candy or something.
The joint.
And then he gets up and he's walking around, but he's walking around like an old man. It looks like a doddering old man walking back to the stage, you know.
Yeah.
Well, that John
he's
Mellencamp,
3 years old, whatever, but
the John Mellencamp, that fucking clip that I put on Facebook a couple weeks back.
Yeah.
It's like, it looks like he's got the high pockets pants. Looks like Papa. Hey, Papa.
Are they pulled up to his nipples?
He's got the fucking suspenders with the high. He's like Johnny High Pockets.
And he's still smoking 2 packs a day. So
He's got the fucking pants up around his belly button. Like, fucking what, dude? What? People are like, I still love him. Shut up. Then you waste your money and go see this old guy with the Johnny High Pockets. He can put his hands in his waist and they're in his pockets. What the fuck? Jesus. Okay, no. Number three on this. Journey, greatest hits. Wow, good for you. Look at Journey. Yeah, Journey's greatest hits.
More to fight over.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that was more popular than any of their other albums because every song on that was just a hit.
Yeah. There's a lot of greatest hits albums out there. Let's see, number 2.
Dave Phillips, where the boss peaked with "I Came for You." That was his first album, man.
Recorded at 914 Studios.
Boss.
And by the way, the Eagles' greatest hits is not on this list.
Really?
Yeah. Because we're at number 2 now. We're at number 2. although it's the highest selling album of all time, right? Doesn't mean it stayed on the charts. Isn't it the highest selling album? Didn't it reach that mark like a couple years ago?
Whether it was the Eagles?
The Eagles' greatest hits?
I always thought so.
I'm really surprised it's on that list. I really am.
Again, I think we can confuse it with, it's sold a lot of albums, but it doesn't mean it necessarily stayed on the charts.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, it could have been on the charts and then came off for a week and then it's on again. So there's
true.
that.
If it hadn't been for that 1 year Dark Side of the Moon fell off, it would have had an even greater run.
Yeah. Yep. This is a very interesting album. At number two, we all know what number one is, but number one is like, we know it's Dark Side of the Moon, but it's one of those things like, the people, all right, I'm going to be a little pompous here. Like the people that like think they know a little bit about music and they're like, hey, trivia question. What's the longest running album on the charts in the history of music?
Tell me, old man, right?
Okay, boomer.
Yeah, okay, boomer. Yeah. Number two, Bob Marley and the Wailers, Legend.
Wow.
Been on for 771 weeks. The top 200.
Bot's back.
Yeah.
Scott, the bot's back. Look.
Oh, is he? Oh, shh.
Don't talk about
be
him.
good.
Yeah.
Be good. Fucking, he's not a bot now. He's graduated to AI.
That's right. He's got a mind of his own.
He's a fucking icon.
Oh, but he's got a mind of his own.
Harry Dedovich. AI. Yeah. Not a bot anymore. He's matured.
He's no longer just a head in a jar.
Yeah.
He has a body.
He's not a head in a jar. He sprouted little hands. Right? He got these little hands coming out his neck. Just waiting for the torso to grow into it.
It's like in The Thing. Remember The Thing when the one it's the head, it's got the tendons coming out and snaking it across the room.
Yeah.
Oh, that's horrible.
That's the AI Perry Dedovich.
Just put a mental image in my head.
Right.
I'm not going to get away for a long time with Perry.
And number
I don't want
one
to see him anymore.
and number one is Dark Side of the Moon, and we all know that story. There we go. So, hey, you know what?
These guys must have so much money.
Oh, I know, right?
I mean, Bob Ezrin, the producer, and not only, but the guys, Roger Waters. I mean,
Look at AI played for the Sixers. Good one. Dave
I'm as real as a donut.
I've ever heard in my life. Jesus. That was like an English crowd. Yay.
I need Perry to explain his response there. I'm as real as a donut, motherfucker.
I'm as real as a donut. I ate a donut last week during the show.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I think. I mean, my list got all fucked up here. Like the font just went. Okay, top 10 this week in 1980. Since last week we did 1978. We talked about 79. Now we're going to see the difference. Now, last week in 79, what was it? I think it said 7 out of the 10 songs were disco songs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
It really did dominate 78, 79, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, number 10 this week in 1980. Now we're jumping to 80.
Okay.
Number 10 is How Do I Make You by Linda Ronstadt. Right?
How do I make you? How do I make you
Yep.
dream about me?
There you go, Lou.
Okay.
That's right. I guess Mark really did have to go to the bathroom. I didn't even have to put him in the penalty box. He's in the bathroom box right now.
There's a cleanup on aisle 13.
Remember to pull up your... You're supposed to pull your pants down when you go pee. Like Mark pees like a 7-year-old.
He probably pees in the shower. He probably gets steps out of the shower to pee. You know, Mark.
Oh,
He probably steps out of the shower to pee.
Steps. Oh, that's.
Yeah. And I think sometimes when he sits in the tub, he farts and eats the bubbles.
Oh, jeez. Do you think he sits down?
I said, "Oh, absolutely, of course he does."
He has no idea. He's not going to watch this either, I guarantee you. He says no idea. Mark, do you think he sits down to pee? If you say he steps out of the shower to pee?
He probably steps out of the shower. I had a teacher in high school, Calicchio, because you probably step out of the shower to piss, don't you? I'm like,
See,
no.
That's a good teacher. Today, they wouldn't be doing that. Today, they would be like, excuse me.
I got slammed into a locker repeatedly by gym teachers.
A teacher today would be like, excuse me, you should. That's nasty. It's not proper. It's not hygienic. So you need to step out of the shower.
Really?
And that's the
Come
male
back on
teacher.
and I hear hygiene.
Uh-oh. No, we didn't say anything about you sitting down to pee. We didn't.
You never miss when you sit down to pee.
No. And I wasn't the one that said you step out of the shower to pee. I didn't say that.
That was me.
Well, there's only one other person on the fucking show, Lou.
That's the surprise.
Way to go along with the joke, Lou. Lou's like, nope, that was me. That was me over here. Over here. It wasn't me that said it, so Lou like volunteers it. Like you weren't going to figure this out, Mark. You weren't going to figure out. There's only one other person here in the room.
Mr. Carter. I said it, Mr. Carter.
Okay, number 9 this week in 1980, Ride Like the Wind by Christopher Cross.
Such a long way to go.
Oh,
Make it to the border of Mexico.
He got it in.
He got it in. That was good.
I'm your flea.
An hour. Yeah, you are my. Welcome to the fucking circus, asshole.
Scott's Flea Circus.
Flea Circus.
That's right. Welcome to the circus.
Doing, doing, doing.
Okay, number 8. Number 8 this week in 1980. Second time around. Who sings it?
Wait.
Second,
Ashford Simpson.
Nope. Not Peaches and Herb either.
No, I didn't think so.
No.
Shalimar.
Nicky Free, right?
Whoa. Okay.
Hey, Mark, did you ever watch those the Charlie Murphy True Hollywood Stories?
Oh, you were telling me I got to watch them.
Dude, you haven't watched them yet?
Yeah.
Oh, my God, dude. As a matter of fact, Nicky Free gets mentioned in that from Shalimar. It's fucking hilarious, dude. This is must-watch YouTube.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Tomorrow night, I'm actually going to get home by 7. I'm going to sit and watch it.
Yeah, they're like 7 minutes skits, like.
Okay.
But fucking the Rick James one and the Prince one. Charlie Murphy, True Hollywood Story. All right, number 7 this week in 1980. Too hot, too hot, too hot. Who sings it?
Cool in the Gang.
Cool in the Gang. That's right.
Too Hot Lady.
Well, it was Cool in the Gang featuring
Ronald Bell.
Yeah. I like that.
So he separated from the band after what?
Yeah.
Diana. What was that song called? No, really.
Yeah. I like the 70s Cool in the Gang better.
Oh, yeah, come on.
Yeah. Jungle Boogie. Give me on Jungle Boogie.
They were truly funky. Yeah, they went pop.
And that wasn't racist either, by the way. That's the song.
That's the song.
Everybody went pop in the 80s. All the good funk bands, right?
Number 6 this week in 1980, Him by Rupert Holmes.
What's she gonna do about him? Or do without me? Me.
That's right. Me.
Remember the opening line?
Me.
Over there in the corner, there's a pack of cigarettes.
I feel sorry for the poor sap that's listening to this in their car, and they open the window to get some like takeout, and this is coming through their car speakers.
What's she gonna do without me?
In the Michael McDonald voice.
What's she gonna do about me?
Okay. Number 5. Let's move on before he gets into Michael McDonald again. We're almost done here. We're going to get you in under 2 hours, Lou.
I'm good. No, I'm here, man. I was goofing. I don't sleep.
No. You gave us the hint at the beginning. Me and Mark knew this was going to happen. We talked about it before you came on. And
oh, really?
Well, Mark said it, not me.
Doing.
Mark said it, not me.
Like, lose the older one.
That's when Mark said it, not me.
He's got to be in bed earlier than the rest of us.
Well, let's play the game. I wasn't the one that said that.
There's a lot of marks in the world. Come on. There's a lot of marks in the world.
Yeah.
There's only one in this room.
That's right.
No, I'm here. I'm in Pearl River.
I'm here. No, I'm here.
No, I'm here.
I'm not. You're in a virtual room. Thank you very much. Virtual room. Hello. Aren't you a Zoomer? Jeez. Don't you know anything?
I will not pay for my music. I damn
Bellboy. What movie is that from? Bellboy.
Quadrophenia.
Yeah.
Get moving now.
All right, we're getting a little sidetracked. Number 5 this week in 1980. The I'd call her the queen of pop punk, as I mentioned earlier. Deborah Harry and Blondie with "Call Me."
From the movie? What soundtrack?
American Gigolo.
American Gigolo.
Yep.
I want to know something. On the re-release of, what was the album with Rapture? What was the name of that one? Auto American.
Yeah.
On the re-release, they have "Call Me" as a bonus track, but it had already come out on a previous album. I don't know the whole history of Blind. It's kind
Probably
of
just to get it to sell.
Yeah.
You know, someone looks at it, they go, "Oh, Call Me's on there." It's just like, you know, puts
They
a
said it
little
was
add an oomph into the wallet.
They said it was the movie version. It says movie version. I guess the movie version's slightly different.
I don't know. Let me see. Rupert Holmes, didn't he do Pina Colada? Fucking stupidest song. That song is even stupider than MacArthur Park.
Made a lot of money.
What's the real name of that song? What's the actual title?
The Pina Colada song, isn't it?
It's not. Nope. Escape.
What is it?
I give it Escape.
Escape. Yeah, the
named
Pina
after a
Colada
Journey
song.
album.
Yeah. Fucking stupid song. Stupid fucking song.
When you think about it, there should have been a Pina Escape Part 2 because here they are.
Yeah, it's called Divorce.
Or murder, suicide or something. He's tired of his old lady, right? He's putting in ads for singles ad, and this is the late '70s, before the
Did
internet.
Lou just go to murder suicide?
I know. I'm going to remember that. He went like this: murder suicide, like that. Murder suicide. It's going to stick in my head. I was thinking the same thing.
Escape the Pina Colada song Part 2.
Murder suicide.
Wait, it's Escape. CSI.
If you like bullets and pistols, getting shot in the head.
Because you were looking to cheat on me through a personal ad.
Then you'll end up dead.
And you're on LinkedIn.
I met you on LinkedIn. You said you were an executive.
You were a top performer.
When I find out you were a burger, making burgers, I shot you in the head. And then I killed myself. End of song.
Because I won't go to jail.
Because I'm dead.
Well, think about it. They're
You
both
don't want to go to jail? Put the gun in your mouth.
Lou, we got the show dark again. This is dark.
Good, because at the end of it, they both admit they're putting a personal ad in the paper, but they're not mad at each other for looking for other people because they're
like, hey, you were gonna cheat too?
Yeah.
Hey,
let's go for a pina colada.
Hey, Lou, can we do Escape Part 2 with Rage Against the Cafe?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that going on the album too?
That's like the first single.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, how about we have a double A side?
Might not go over well in those blue states, but okay.
Yeah.
Gun control. There we go.
It would definitely not go over here.
anyways, moving into number 4. Andy Gibb, Desire, number 4 this week in 1980. Number 3 this week in 1980.
The Gibb that couldn't. Ooh.
Queen. What song? 1980.
Everyone bites the dust.
Nope.
Crazy Little Thing Called
There
Love.
you go.
That came out before the game. I think. Yeah.
I like that song. I actually do like that song.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Number 2 this week. Wow, this group kind of pulled it out. They were a 70s band, I think, and then they were Working My Way Back to You, babe.
Seasons.
Nope.
Oh no, wait.
I've been working my way back to
The
you,
OJs.
babe. Nope.
No.
Will you love I find?
Or Tops.
Nope.
No.
That came out in 1980, that song?
Yeah.
Working My Way?
It's a classic.
Spinners.
Spinners.
Yeah.
Wow, I
Spinners.
thought it was earlier than that.
And number 1 this week in 1980, Another Brick in the Wall, Part 2, Pink Floyd. There you go.
That was
Mark,
a massive
No
hit.
surprise.
Who plays a guitar solo in that?
Gilmore.
Is that Gilmore?
Yeah.
There's a couple guitarists on the album, but Gilmore does all the solos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Lee Ritenour is famously on that album. I don't know what part he plays. Jazz guitars, yeah.
Hey, Mark, you know what time it is?
That was the time for Mark's Useless Facts. So now it's time for
This Day in Music.
Yay!
That was good.
All right, enough of that. Okay. On this day, March 29th in 2017, George Michael's funeral took place 3 months after his sudden death at the age of 53. Should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. His family said a small private ceremony was attended by family and close friends. The coroner's verdict on Michael's death only came 3 weeks before his funeral. Tests were ordered because an initial post-mortem examination was inconclusive. On this day in 2016, Andy Newman from...
Oh, God.
Who? Andy Newman from...
Seinfeld. No.
Newman.
I don't know.
Thunderclap Newman.
Hello.
Died at age 73. Thunderclap Newman, whose number 69 number one hit, Something in the Air, became one of the indestructible staples of British pop's in 1960s British
Pete
pop.
Townsend's proteges, right?
He produced the album and played bass on that song.
Yeah.
With a young Jimmy McCulloch of Wings on guitar.
Yeah.
Teenage.
The band that would become Thunderclap Newman was formed in late 1968 at the instigation of the Who's Pete Townsend.
Huh.
Yeah.
On this classic rock staple, I think that's always been played a lot.
Yeah.
I heard it recently.
On this day in 2015, 17-year-old Norman Greenbaum of Spirit in the Sky fame was critically injured when the car he was riding in turned left, crossing into the path of an oncoming motorcycle. The 20-year-old motorcyclist was killed and his passenger was severely injured. After a lengthy recovery, Greenbaum returned to the stage in Santa Rosa, California on November 15th, 2015, and sang the only song that anyone knows he ever sang. Then he left the stage. Shortest concerts ever, Norman Greenbaum's.
So he was
shortest concerts ever.
He was 17 when he did that?
Well, he was 72 in 2015, so.
Wait, when was the accident?
2015.
Oh, 2015. Okay.
Yeah, 2015.
Well,
from Massachusetts. Nice Jewish boy from Massachusetts.
Can't stand that song.
Was great riff, but
was it actually played in outer space like an Apollo 13?
Yeah, I think so.
Because apparently the producer hated that guitar sound, and it's become iconic.
Yeah, it is. It is a great riff.
Oh yeah.
But then it changes. Like I always thought, like the song leads you into something like this is going to be heavy, and then it's the spiritual song. It's like
you get tired of hearing it.
Then you wait for the guitar to
That was good. That sounded really good.
See?
Well, it's like
I know
stuff.
I know stuff.
You can do voices too.
I do. I'm very talented. Just my podcast would do better. No, I like my podcast.
Is that an insurance of us at the top? See, Lou? See what he's saying? See that?
He's blaming us. Yeah.
The Flea circus isn't working here.
I'm not a flea.
There's plenty of performing flea out there.
I'm going to use that somehow. Somehow I might try to navigate that into a conversation with my wife tonight. I am not a flea in your little flea circus, Dr. Vera.
Damn it, honey. I'm not a flea. I am not a flea.
Dr. Vera McLean.
Sorry. I'm going to try it. I'll let you know how it works.
Good luck, buddy. Good luck with that one. On this day in 2011, a website that illegally sold Beatles songs online for 25 cents each agreed to pay record companies almost $1 million. It was £625,000 to settle a legal case. Bluebeat.com, based in the U.S., streamed and sold music by the Beatles, Coldplay, and others until it was sued in 2009. And the few days before it was forced to shut down, it had distributed more than 67,000 Beatles tracks. So that was around the time of
Napster.
Yeah, right? Or was Napster earlier than that? Napster was earlier than that, wasn't it?
84.
It was like 2005. So it was in that realm. It was in that time frame where they were kind of, because I think Napster was like early 2000s, wasn't it? 2004, 5, 6, 7.
I thought it was earlier than that, no?
Was it? I got into customs in 97 and the guy, I remember I was working for Customs. I was working in Miami. And so I get in 98, 99. Yeah, maybe about 99, 2000. Yeah. Let's see. 2007, Umbrella by Rihanna featuring Jay-Z was released in the U.S.
Now, that's a
Rihanna
good
would go
pop
on
song.
to do a Super Bowl appearance that was terrible in
She's
2022.
pregnant. She can't help it. She's pregnant.
Terrible. Terrible.
But that's a good song.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I'm shutting up.
On this day in 2007, U2 singer Bono accepted an honorary knighthood at a
His balls
ceremony
on
in
Scott's
Dublin.
neck.
Huh?
He put his balls on Scott's
Yeah.
neck.
Yeah. In his acceptance speech, he mentioned he put his balls on on a guy's back of his neck and his head
Sweaty ball.
back in '82, and yeah. So Bono accepted an honorary knighthood for putting his balls on the back of Scott McLean's head.
We have a song title for Rage Against the Cafe.
It's
Scrotum of Bono.
Bono's scrotum. That's another song going on the album.
Or Brodum.
Hello. Let me get through this. I can't get through
Brodum of Scramo.
Oh,
This is horrible.
Bono's balls on my neck.
One on each side.
Did you ever wash your neck
I
again?
got big shoulders, okay?
Was it like that airline pillow? When
Did I wash my neck afterwards? First, I wiped it with my hand and sniffed it to see. Listen, you only have Bono's balls on the back of your head once in your life. You got to take advantage of the moment.
Right. That's right. I had a girlfriend though. She was in love with Bono, so she went to
I
a
think you
concert.
had a girlfriend put her balls on my neck.
I had a girlfriend once. She put her balls on the back of my head.
Well, eventually.
Sorry, Lou. I'm sorry.
His name, and her name was Lola.
Exactly.
See you when they cola.
Lou and Lola.
I was naive. I was young.
Lou and Lola.
Did she walk up to you and ask you to dance?
She walked up to me and she asked me to
Okay,
dance.
okay, come on, let's get through this. Okay, oh my God. Fellow band members, The Edge and Adam Clayton. Where was Larry Mullen Jr.? He seems to stay away from them.
He was putting his balls on someone's neck.
Yes, joined the frontman's wife and 4 children at the British ambassador David Redaway's official residence. The rock star and campaigner, right? Not activist, campaigner. 46, was not entitled to be called sir because he is not a British citizen. Still shitting on the Irish.
Of course.
Fucking England, still shitting on the Irish. Bastards.
Yep.
Anyways, on this day in 2005, Neil Young was treated for a brain aneurysm at a hospital in New York. Doctors expected the 59-year-old to make a full recovery, and it never changed the way he sang.
I never heard that.
The aneurysm was
neither.
discovered when Young's vision became blurred after the induction ceremony for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was that his induction?
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
Who inducted Neil Young, I wonder?
Oh, that's a good question. Question.
I think
On this day in
I think it was Carly
2001,
Simon.
what's that?
It was Carly Simon.
On this day in 2001, Brian Wilson was honored in a 3-hour tribute at New York's Radio City Music Hall. Mike Love didn't attend because he was pissed. Guest performances included Billy Joel, Paul Simon, The Go-Go's, and the trio of Carly Simon. Jesus, we're covering them all, aren't we?
Shit, really?
David Crosby and Jimmy Webb.
Wow.
Wow.
Also singing Beach Boys songs were Ann and Nancy Wilson, Elton John, and Amy Mann. Brian Wilson himself joined the fun when he took the stage for the final 3 songs, Barbara Ann, Surfing USA, and Fun, Fun, Fun. All right. See that? Mike Love didn't get to sing those songs with all those guys and
He
ladies.
wrote those lyrics too, I think.
Yeah, I love it.
He was home smashing glasses. God
Yeah,
damn
with his
it.
stupid hat on.
Yeah. In his underwear with his hat.
Yeah,
Mick Jagger
Yeah.
was always too chicken shit. I think that was Glenn Fry.
yeah. Let me
Mick
see.
Jagger was too chicken shit to jam with the Beach Boys.
On this day in 2000, Phil Collins fell. I'm going to leave it
No,
alone.
really.
Took out a high court action against two former members of this motherfucker. What a dick move this is. Phil Collins took out a high court action order against two former Earth, Wind, and Fire, two former members of Earth, Wind, and Fire. Collins claimed his company had overpaid the musicians by $85,000 in royalties on tracks including Sussudio and Easy Lover.
Wow. It's when you become a corporation.
What the fuck?
They don't have the money. They say with the musicians, was it all the musicians or is it a couple?
Two.
Horn section.
Two.
Yeah,
it wasn't like Daryl Sturmer or one of his.
No, it must have, like Mark said, it was probably the horn section.
Yeah, it's like fuck him.
Fucking asshole. On this day in 1999, David Bowie Internet Radio Network broadcast its first show for Rolling Stone Radio. The show was Bowie's favorite songs, with Bowie introducing each track.
He was so ahead of his time. I know someone who had the Bowie Internet Radio.
Yeah. Yep. On this day in 1996, two former members of the 1950s group, the Teddy Bears, filed suit in Los Angeles, California, against producer Phil Spector and several labels. Carol Connors and Marsha Lieb alleged they had not received royalties from reissues of their 1958 number one hit, To Know Him Is to Love Him. On this day in 1986, Austrian singer
Falco.
Yeah, it's the only fucking Austrian singer that we know, right? My buddy AJ Gillinger. When are you all going to talk about George Jones?
Anytime.
Fuck this. I love AJ. Me and him go back to the Philippines, right? We go back. Right. He was a dog handler, just a young buck. I kind of took him under my wing for a little while in the Philippines, and this motherfucker, all he talked about was George Jones.
George Jones.
That was back in '88. He was like, George Jones is the greatest. He's the greatest country star ever.
Read his autobiography.
He's a good old boy. He's a good old boy. My boy AJ. He's a Texas boy. He's not a good old boy. He's a Texas boy.
Texas.
Yeah. And he makes he has a restaurant. AJ's on the Main. I think it's in Grapevine, Texas, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, my friend. But he had a picture of his fucking, I'll never forget it. He showed a picture of this Bloody Mary that he makes. This thing is fucking insane. It's insane. It's got a cheeseburger, I think, on it. Like, it's just like it's just a meal and a Bloody Mary all sitting on top of a glass. I'm like, that's the greatest thing I've ever seen. I would order that just for the food.
I'm not ordering a wine in that restaurant.
And Mark, you said you like George Jones?
I love George Jones.
Really?
He is.
See that, AJ? Us East Coast boys aren't really that bad.
I love old country.
He's a New York guy right there. Right?
Yeah, George has always been big up there. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Talk about him sometime. I'm telling you, he's a fascinating character.
I don't know much about him. You can. Whenever you want to talk about him. I mean, I'm not opposed to any conversation on this podcast.
He's not old country, but he's not new country. He was like, I mean, he's after Hank Williams. Yeah, but he like post Hank Williams, but
yeah. It's around the time of Merle Haggard, Waylon Jennings, that's the country I like.
But he broke out. Like he just hit at the right time right?
Yeah.
I mean, as far as popular music went, and country was starting to change.
Oh yeah. Well, and in the 60s, there was a big time for country music in the 60s. It
was the 70s where he really hit it big.
Yeah.
He had a softer sound than Waylon and the other guys.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, back to what's that?
And he rode a rider mower to the liquor store drunk because he couldn't get his car. He should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
And he made a video. He made a video of you doing that. Yeah,
you gotta respect the fucking riding mower.
Yeah,
shit faced.
I'm going to the liquor.
You're gonna fucking pull my license? Good luck.
I'm cutting my neighbor's grass.
Damn, I guess I can't cut my fucking lawn anymore. Shit. You're going to tow this thing? Let's see. Austrian singer Falco started a 3-week run at number one on the U.S. singles charts with
Rock Me Beethoven.
Rock Me Amadeus. Amadeus. I also like Der Kommissar.
Yeah.
I like the German version better. Austrian version.
By After the Fire.
Yeah, After the Fire, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Also number one in the UK, Falco became the first German-speaking artist to achieve a number one in the U.S. charts. So evidently 99 Luftballons, the German version, didn't hit number one.
Didn't quite ring
Nina.
the same.
By
So
Nina, the hot German chick with the hairy armpits. Everyone was mortified at that.
Right? Yeah.
Like, that was the big deal. Like, did you see the video? Yeah, she's hot. She got hairy armpits. I'm like, you wouldn't do that?
All
Like,
right.
you really,
Well,
you
he-
like being that fucking picky? Look at her.
Come on.
I never.
She's a fucking hottie.
Does she use deodorant? That's all that matters.
Doesn't matter.
So was that early krautrock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. What
Did
happened?
did we just glitch?
You just shuffled the deck.
You
a
went
little
out
bit.
for a second.
We shuffled.
Uh-oh.
Look at
We're
that.
on borrowed time. Your internet.
Yep. We got to get this thing done. Okay, that's the sign right there.
I think Perry's getting mad.
We're almost 2 hours.
Oh, listen to this
2
story.
hours.
This is a little fucked up. On this day in 1985, Janine Deckers. Who's Janine Deckers?
Don't know.
The singing nun, right? Died at age 52 following a suicide pact with her longtime partner, Annie Peacher. Her 1963 U.S. number 1 and UK number 7 single, Dominique, sold over 1.5 million copies, winning a Grammy Award for the year's Best Gospel Song. Deckers wrote about her financial difficulties in a suicide note, and in a great irony, this is a fucking twist, if I've ever seen one. The very day her suicide, and unknown to her, now remember, Deckers wrote about her financial difficulties in a suicide note, right? Unknown to her, the Belgian association that collects royalties for songwriters awarded her $300,000. That's fucked.
That's bad fate.
That is fucked. Like, if you see, it's not worth it, people.
Yeah.
Keep waiting for that 300 grand. That's the moral of this story.
That's right. Don't look before you leap. And I think we talked about this song once before. Wait, Scott, what year were you born?
63.
So that song came out in 60. That song was the number 1 song in the country, I think, the week you were born. I think that was your birth song.
Wow.
Oh, Dominico, Nico.
Yeah. Hey, Mark, are you there?
Me? Yeah.
Because I see both of you guys frozen on my screen, but I can see you on the
we're
side
good.
Hear
screen.
us.
No, everything looks fine over here.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're
All right,
looking
let's-
good.
We're
I didn't
almost
mean it
done
that
here.
way.
Let's see. On this day in 1980,
That's gotta get new internet. Jesus Christ.
I don't know what the fuck. I see you guys in the green room.
You
on
did
the
the show
side.
for 3 years or whatever with no problems. All of a sudden you're having these problems.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I think it's when someone's residency started. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
It's the AI. It's the AI.
The
thing.
AI. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon album spent 303rd week in the U.S. album chart, beating Carole King's Tapestry. On this day in 1979, after attending a Dire Straits show during their residency at the Roxy in Los Angeles, Bob Dylan asked Mark Knopfler and drummer Pick Withers to play on the sessions for his next album. Slow Train Coming was the album, recorded in Muscle Shoals in May of 79. Jerry Wexler producing. Dylan had first heard Dire Straits' Mark Knopfler when his assistant, Arthur Rosado, played him the single Sultan of Swing. On this day in 1978, David Bowie kicked off his Low/Heroes 77 date world tour at San Diego Sports Arena. On this day in 1975, LaBelle went to number 1 in the U.S. single charts with Lady Marmalade, the group's only number 1 British act. All Saints had a UK number 1 with the same song. You know, Patti LaBelle's 2 sisters both died of breast cancer.
Wow.
Yeah, that's tough.
You know who wrote Lady Marmalade?
Who?
Bob Crew. He was a producer of the Four Seasons. He co-wrote a lot of those Four Seasons songs. A lot of those big hits.
How do you know this shit?
Because I read it somewhere.
I read it somewhere. I retained it.
I read it in a book.
I don't retain shit. It goes in one ear and out the other.
On this day in 1975, Led Zeppelin saw all 6 of their albums in the U.S. Top 100 chart in the same week, alongside their latest album. This is 75, Physical Graffiti at number 1. Physical Graffiti has now been certified 16 times platinum. U.S. sales excess of 16
well
million.
deserved.
On this day in 1973, Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show got their picture finally on the cover of the Rolling Stone.
They bought 5 copies for their mother.
Yep. According to the members of the group, they really did 5 copies. They did buy 5 copies for their mothers, just like the song said. They did.
Then they became like a disco act. They had like disco-y songs.
Yeah, they did.
You're in love with a beautiful woman.
Yep. They jumped on the wagon. On this day in 1969, John Lennon and Yoko Ono, Black Sabbath, The Crazy World of Arthur Brown, Curved Air, J.J. Jackson's Dilemma, Shy Limbs, Spontaneous Music Ensemble, Sunflower Brass Band, and Toe Fat all appeared. Toe Fat. Oh,
What?
Christ. All appeared at the London Free Easter Festival in Bethnal Green, London, England.
Ladies and gentlemen, Toe Fat.
So fat. Wow.
On this day in 1967, working at Abbey Road Studios, the Beatles finished recording Good Morning, Good Morning. They then started to work on a new song with a little help from my friends, originally titled Badfinger Boogie.
Really?
Yeah, recording 10 takes of the rhythm track. Then Ringo overdubbed a double track lead vocal. On this day in 1966, the Rolling Stones' Mick Jagger was injured during a gig in Marseille, southern France, after a fan threw a chair at the stage. Jagger required 8 stitches to cut. Let's see. Born on this day in 1959. Yeah, fuck the French. American singer-songwriter and musician Perry Farrell, his real name, Peretz Bernstein from Jane's Addiction. And by the way, like I've always said, Perry Farrell was supposed to be pronounced peripheral. It didn't work.
And that's not his real name. I didn't know that.
No, Peretz Bernstein is his real name. But he tried to be this cool, like, peripheral. So I'll call myself Perry Farrell. And no one ever got it. No one ever got it.
Joke's on him.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it. Nobody knows.
On this, let me see. Born on this day in 1956, Patty Donahue, singer from the experimental post-punk band from Akron, Ohio, The Waitresses. Telling you, you watch that video for Christmas wrapping. She looked just like my mom.
Oh, really?
Amazing. Yeah, it looks just like my mom. If you watch that video, it might look just like my mom. I always looked, and that's what's the beauty. Every time that song comes on around Christmas time, I always think of my mom. I see the video, and I'm like, it looks just like her, man. Looks just like her. Waitress's best. Yep. What's that?
So your mom was cute.
Yeah, she was. My mom was a good-looking woman. Waitresses best known for the 1980s. That's why I'm a good-looking man. I look like, of course. Anyways, 1982 hit Christmas Wrapping, like I just meant. Unfortunately, Donahue died of lung cancer on December 6, 1996. Yeah, and you'll see her in the video. She's smoking too, I believe.
Oh man.
Yeah. Born on this day in 1949, Dave Greenfield, keyboards for the English rock band The Stranglers.
Oh wow, I've heard that name forever.
Yep. Born on this day in 1949, Michael Brecker.
The Brecker Brothers.
Brecker Brothers. Yep.
Was he the trumpeter?
Notable Joes and rock collaborations included work with Steely. Didn't we talk about them 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, they played on Born to Run.
Yeah.
Brecker is one of the best jazz musicians ever considered.
Worked with Steely Dan, James Taylor, Paul Simon, Lou Reed, Donald Fagen, Dire Straits, Joni Mitchell, Eric Clapton, Billy Joel, John Lennon, Aerosmith, Dan Fogelberg, Frank Sinatra, Frank Zappa, Bruce Springsteen, Roger Daltrey, and Parliament Funkadelic. Now that is covering a lot of fucking bases.
And probably 1,000 more.
He died on January 13th, 2007.
Young. Very young.
He died of the same disease my mother died of.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, he was in his 50s. Yeah.
It's young for that too. But.
Born on this day in 1947, Bobby Kimball.
From Toto.
There you go. Yep.
He lost his voice. I feel bad for him.
What year was he born?
1947.
Wow. So he was getting up there when Toto hit it big. And singers just don't last long. And he had to sing high. From New Orleans. Good old New Orleans guy.
Born on this day in 1946, the one-hit wonder Terry Jacks. Seasons in the Sun from what year?
74.
There you go.
I mean, Jack likes that song.
Hello, my lonely son.
Jesus Christ.
Lou says no bueno.
Bye, Papa. It's hard to die.
Let's see.
In the sky. It's hard.
Hey, it's another Thunderclap Newman reference. Songwriter, born in the state, Speedy Keen. Songwriter, vocalist, drummer, keyboard, Speedy Keen from Thunderclap Newman.
Yeah,
wow,
that's
two
right.
mentions in the same show.
Wow.
Born in the state in 1943, Chad Allen, founding member, lead singer of the Canadian rock band.
Who?
Chad Allen.
Canadian rock. Oh, wait. April Wine.
Nope.
No.
Moxie.
Nope. But guess who?
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
There was a Chad Allen in the guest. What did he play?
Founding member and original lead singer.
Hey guys,
Before
it's
Burton
Chad.
Cummings. It's Chad.
Yeah. It's Chad. Let's see. Born on this
Chad.
Born on this day in 1940, American musician Ray Davis, original bass player and founding member of The Parliaments, and subsequent the bands Parliament and Funkadelic. Davis died in New Brunswick, New Jersey, July 5th, 2005, because he hated New Jersey.
Plenty of those people.
It's the only way to leave those to die.
Born in the state in 1940, Brazilian samba and bossa nova singer Astrid Gilberto.
Oh yeah.
Her daughter, her fucking daughter, is really, really good. Yeah,
What's her daughter's name?
Babel
Yeah.
Gilberto.
Yes.
I have a couple of her albums, dude. I love that music. I don't like jazz.
Similar like Latin jazz.
Yeah, I don't
Brazilian.
like, but it's like it's not jazz. It's more like I said, a bossa nova, some
Brazilian
rhythm. Have you ever heard
Brazilian
the stuff,
jazz they call it, I guess.
It's very unique. It's its own genre. I love it.
Did you ever hear the stuff that Frank Sinatra did with the guy's name Juan Antonio or Juan Carlos Jobim?
Jobim, yes, that's a great album.
It's like they do Girl from Ipanema Wave. It's that same thing. It's really cool. It's cool music, but it's got it's got a cool groove to it though.
Listen to Babel Gilberto.
Okay.
She's fucking,
Yeah,
I mean,
she's great.
just
Babel.
really, really good stuff, man. So if I'm into anything outside of like my realm, that's it. I love that Brazilian jazz. Yeah, I do. It's almost like lounge music sometimes.
It
like
is. It definitely is.
But
it's
not
got great
cheesy.
musicianship.
Yeah, it's very good. And her father, Astrid Gilberto's husband, I forget his name, but he's a big fucking bossa nova star too.
And he was
they're all
partnered-
based on those type of beats. The bossa nova beat, the south.
Yeah.
It's a certain rhythm, but
It's
a
really
cool rhythm.
Babel Gilberto, and she wasn't bad to
It's
look at in
sexy.
her younger days either.
Yeah, oh no.
And
She have a nice mouth, Scott.
yeah, well, not a Carly Simon or Sheryl Crow mouth, but yeah. All right, well, listen, gentlemen, that's it. We did it.
I just want to say thanks to AJ. He told me about this album, and I found it on Spotify, the Bradley Barnes sessions. I'm gonna listen to it when we're off. Thanks.
Look at this, Lou. I like Mark stepped it up.
Yeah.
I like when it goes through enough. He has it right there in his picture, right? He could rise it up a little more. Yeah, you could get something to put that on, right? And then you see that's adding to the whole thing, right? The whole visuals of live streaming, right?
Yeah, my table's gonna fall down.
You got Lou with his very subdued color brown, right? That's his thing, though.
Black.
That's his thing. Yeah.
I'm an earth tone kind of guy.
Yeah.
Lou, you remind me of The Edge tonight with the cap.
See that
This
on
is
Neil
the
Peart.
edge. You know what this is? This is the end of the podcast, gentlemen.
I like AJ's comment about when George Jones. He went the thing when he spoke like a duck all the time. I think.
I was
That's what
living in his
it is.
car and talking like a duck while down there. Nancy Lopez smuggling them out away from the
Alcohol will
powers
do
to
that
be.
to you.
So many big. That's good stuff right there, buddy. Good stuff. All right, gentlemen. Once again,
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
thank you. I'm thankful for your knowledge, for your input, for your sense of humor, for your new friendships. I appreciate your time on this podcast. And everybody, like I always say, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. If you like it, that's good. If you didn't like it, thanks for listening this long. What else do I say? Yeah, the usual spiel.
Morrissey.
You're the engine that drives this machine. Without you, it would just be me talking to Lou and Mark, and there's nothing wrong with that. And doing this show for you. To quote my favorite artist, Morrissey, the pleasure, the privilege is mine. We'll be back next week. One of our topics will be
The Wrecking
Crew. Very interesting. Very
better bone
stuff.
up. Yeah.
And I'm sure Lou is going to have a lot.
Lou's going to
say.
take that show. Yeah.
Lou,
Yeah.
It's the Lou Calicchio 3 hour.
I didn't have to
Can't
use
say
my
hour on
notebook
this
for
show
this.
anymore.
That's gonna be notebook free. It's all coming out of my head.
You know it's crazy. I can't think of even doing an hour long show anymore.
No,
I really can't. Like I used to have, me and Jack did the 1 hour thing, an hour.
Did you really? You
15
started
minutes.
with an hour?
We started with an hour, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And we'd always kind of, then we started stretching it, and Jack gets up at 4:30 in the morning and all that shit. But so we kind of had to cut it, and then you guys come along and we're doing marathons. I love it. So anyways, all right, gentlemen.
Hello, Jack, by the way. Hello,
Yes, Jack's doing great.
Good.
I'm sure I will talk to you guys a few times texting throughout the week. And I'm sure you'll be back next Wednesday night. And then, so let me ask you guys while I get you committed on a live stream. So
no pressure.
Next week, with no pressure, next week we're going to do the live stream. But the week after, I'm going to be on a cruise.
Oh, that's right.
So maybe we can pull 2 podcasts in 1 week so I can run one the following week.
I'm down.
Whatever time is convenient for you see
Let me think. I have to see my schedule because
Tell me what your schedule is.
We did one last Sunday, but there were some technical issues.
I heard.
So
it's called hit record.
Oh, Phantom Power, Perry. Phantom Power.
Phantom Power. Don't get it. Dynamic mics are the way to go. I had this conversation with Mark before the podcast. Dynamic mics. If you're going to do a podcast, get a dynamic mic.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do the condenser mics. Because you got to go with Phantom Power, and that's one more thing you have to fucking worry about.
Yeah.
Because I had a condenser mic when I first started.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mine's a dynamic. It doesn't need any of that. But yeah. So we can figure. We just have to figure out what day.
Yeah, whatever.
We'll figure it out.
You guys let me know. You guys, and if we don't, we don't. Then I'll just go a week without doing something. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
But
I go by Lou. Whatever Lou can do.
Yeah, if you can, Lou, you can. We'll definitely do it Wednesday night. If you can do it anything beyond that, that's fine too. But if
6 o'clock in the morning.
Well, as Ice Cube used it, 6 in the morning, police at my door. Fresh Adidas squeak across the bathroom floor. There you go.
Good one.
That's a great rap. 6 in the morning. See, I know stuff.
You know stuff.
I know stuff.
You're down with that.
That's it. All right, everybody. We'll see you next week.